So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Matthew Bailey alongside my critique and partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hello, hello, hello.
And this is another episode of Bears, Beats, and Bailey.
Yes.
So, guys, we took a couple weeks off.
This
Ricardo was
summer,
a little busy. You know, he had his little music video stuff on the side to do. So I just gave him a little space to do his thing.
Yeah, but this summer has been really dead. Like, holy shit, this summer is a crap fucking summer for mainstream
Summer
movies.
was fast, but it just kind of came.
Yeah, blazed through, but it wasn't like nothing was exciting in the summer to talk about, like, other than actual politics. Real world politics was more exciting than what going on in the theaters.
True. Especially with what's going on with Trump right now. And
right, all that shenanigans. Yeah. And as that bullshit went down.
Boy.
As that bullshit in theaters, it really had very few good movies to say away, but I want to...
Yeah, well, for August in particular, no, yeah.
Yeah, August only have one solid movie so far. But yeah, hot mess, weak stuff, man.
Yeah,
sadly.
and the only thing really, two shows I see coming out. September. I know you probably mentioned this at the very end. An Inconvenient sequel, which I finally saw the trailer for. Last week.
This is Algo, right?
Yeah, looks pretty good. Very, very propagandish.
Right, but
very on the nose with it.
We had to go back to that. I get a feeling that it'll be the similar scenario to Bill Nye.
Oh yeah.
Right, where you agree. Well, you know, it's one of those things where with political arguments, you agree with most of the general narrative, but then some of them tend to carry the argument a little too far just to sell a point or just to win, quote unquote, political points. You know?
Yeah.
And they'll just lose you. And then when they say, all right, well, I agree with most of this, but then I don't agree with that part, and then they'll fight you, don't abuse the enemy, whatever.
Right, and then with the trailer itself, though, it's kind of like,
right,
you know, we warned you back in 2006 or whatever.
Right, but that's the exact thing I want to talk about with respect to him in particular. Again, this kind of liberal overstating of the case. Algo is a person that, right, he really kind of look kind of off in that sense. Whatever, you talk when the actual movie come out, you know.
Yeah, I hope it does show, because I've been seeing the poster of it quite a few times, and of course it is coming out. We are getting it on the 13th of September. It's not coming out the day before my birthday.
Right.
Crap, whatever. But I'll still check it out because I am excited.
It have a bunch of movies that I haven't seen yet. I want to see really badly. Just a great list that I guess I want to see yet, but hopefully that should come out.
Yeah.
So Detroit.
Yeah, I would love to see Detroit though. Like, a lot of great things about that. Mixed at some point in time, but I still want to see it. Logan Luck is one I want to see as well too. Although I'm not the biggest fan of Steven Soderbergh's films.
Right.
Well, with the exception of of course, the Ocean's trilogy now. But apart
right,
from that,
exactly. So the running joke, they call it exploitation.
That's actually a term. Well, that's not a new term. That was actually used back in, you know, when exploitation cinema was big, like in the 70s.
Right. Okay. I don't know. All right. So I was not aware of that really. That's with stuff like Deliverance and thing, right?
Yeah, Deliverance, to an extent, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, those kind of things.
Right. That's Beguiled. I didn't see that yet. That came and went, and we just kind of slept up with that. I'll probably have to make the effort to see that. Valerian, I still want to see.
Yeah, man, I don't know why we're not getting that show.
Yeah,
we have this thing, like if our movies are flop in the States, well, we're not showing it down here.
No, but I thought we would have gotten a little something because John Carter came down and people thought that'd be great, however.
Yeah, but that was a Disney movie, Dread, so, you know.
True. So it was big enough. Yeah, they could shoulder that hit, I suppose.
Yeah.
Murder on the Orient Express, you know, looking kind of silly.
Haven't seen the trailer for it. I saw the poster for it. I was like, oh, they actually doing a remake of this.
Trailer, right? Okay, the trailer is actually looking great. However, it is just the music choice they go on with. It's like, it's one of them bullshit, you know, modern pop songs. I have no idea who sing. One of them Ariana Grande or whoever the fuck it is.
That reminds me, on the subject of weird musical choices. Yesterday, before seeing Annabelle Creation, which I will be reviewing because you haven't seen it, I saw the trailer for a particular film that I had no clue about called Happy Death Day. It's basically Groundhog Day, but on a more kind of psycho slasher kind of vibe going on.
Oh, really?
And they use 50 cents in the club now. In the club, sorry. Because it's the protagonist's birthday now. So she wakes up and she's hearing this song.
Right, just to hear it's your birthday.
Yeah, so they kind of work that into this suspense.
That's so fucking lazy.
I know, but how they do it, I was like, wait, really? In the club?
Yeah.
50?
Yeah.
For horror? Horror? What? Okay.
Yeah. I know a lot of other trailers doing this whole taking our real classic pop song and doing this kind of somber, slow down version of it.
Yeah.
I get sick of that shit too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's a trend now.
Glass Castle, I want to see. Atomic Blonde, we still have to see when that coming.
That's supposed to be coming out next week. So
a movie that's pretty hype for. In fact, it have like 3 A24 films coming still that I still haven't seen. Nice Ghost Story.
I want to see that too.
Right, Ghost Story. It have something with wood. I forget the name of it. Some person apparently have a fetish of wood. Really show going on.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget the actual name. It's slipping my mind right now. And then Good Time, which I'm hearing good stuff about.
All right.
I want to see that. The Big Sick, I haven't seen that yet.
I've been hearing great things about the Big Sick. So
right.
Yeah, I want to see that as well.
Yeah. Crown Heights, I want to see. I don't expect it to be great, but I expect it to be solid. And apparently the characters will be playing either Jamaican or Trinidadian.
Oh, yes. I've been hearing about that. Yeah.
That is my boy Keith Stanfield.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see with that. Novatiate is a movie I'm really, really looking forward to. It's actually it's a topic I myself wanted to explore in a film. So I'm really glad to see somebody doing it in film. Basically, it's the idea of how many Catholics have to deal with Vatican II. What that meant to them. And yeah, the movie's about that. Like, holy shit, I didn't expect someone to go there with that. So it's just the idea of how that split Catholics down the middle for many people. A lot of Catholics didn't agree with a lot of the ideas in Vatican II. Right. And that's a big thing now. That internal politics of religion is quite fascinating. And then Super Dark Times, something that I heard good news about. So I really want to see that. Hopefully that I feel that making my best of the year. And then of course Nocturama, which we'll talk about.
Yes.
Right, that is the first on my list that I want to pick off.
All right.
And I finally got a chance to pick it off. I was glad.
Yeah, I honestly haven't heard of it before until you mentioned it to me quite recently. But along with Nocturama, we'll also be talking about Annabelle creation, like I said before. Dark Tower, which I
saw.
Didn't get around to seeing, but you checked it out.
I took a break. I had to get out to the house because I was really like just in the house.
Yeah.
In the house just slouching about. And I finished a good chunk of a book, and I was like, boy, I really don't feel the house, and I was just so damn tired all the time, just staying up. I had a really bad sleep schedule this week between the video and just writing. And I was like, all right, I'll finally get out of the fucking house. And I did that.
No, that's good though. At least you went out.
That's the thing about, the sad part, a big factor of you enjoying a movie is your mood. So I watch the scores and Rotten Tomatoes and things. And it's like, wait, I thought this would be real shit and just depressed me more. And I was like, no, I actually really enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. Though.
Okay, wow, okay.
yeah, big surprise. But we'll talk about it. Though. Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Also, a show that I saw, and I'll actually explain later on why it is I wanted to check it out. It's called Arm Response, which is a quote-unquote action film starring Wesley Snipes.
I was planning to see this, and I was like, boy, when I see that score, boy, I was like, nah, boy, that's a little too low for me. I look, if you see like a 40% or something, whatever. If I'll find the time, I'll go see it, whatever. But it have other times, you like, nah, but that a little too low. That's not supposed to be in theaters,
right? I know what you mean. And finally, we will be talking about the long-awaited season, or should we say miniseries, of Marvel's The Defenders. That's a show that has been hyped up for like practically all year.
I was quite excited for it, and we'll talk about it as well. We'll talk about it. I don't want to spill what I was saying, but general consensus, and I generally match up with almost everyone I know about who was watching it alongside with me. Liked it, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, so couple things you just want to talk about, just stuff that we didn't mention for the past couple of weeks. One thing you wanted to talk about, I remember, from before we even met up, with the last two Rick and Morty episodes.
Yeah.
Yes, and how incredibly awesome and funny they were.
Yeah. Well, the thing of the Vindicators episode, last one of the show, I was a little underwhelmed by it, but it had a general bit that they get into a nice arc involving Mortina.
Yeah.
And Rick and his relationship with Rick. Yes, and I really get to see the dark side stuff of Morty and how bad it is, his relationship with Rick, and how unfortunately pathological it is with Rick. And then the episode before that, I didn't know that was the episode coming up, because we talked about since that episode. But we were saying, all right, Rick and Morty coming up. Holy shit, the Pickle Rick episode. And that was so goddamn like an instant classic for me.
My goodness, yes.
The first 2/3 of it was solid, really, really funny stuff. Great, the pickle bit was great. We knew what was going on with the whole therapy session stuff.
Yeah, but it's the whole survival thing that
right, and then they did the whole dyad spin-off bit. That whole dyad making fun of it. That Danny Trio. Yeah. Really goddamn funny. The whole bit was really funny.
Yeah, literally like just poking fun at those kind of cheesy action films.
Yeah, and then they hit us with that last 4 minutes thread with Susan Sarandon's speech. And
yes.
And
it was so great. It was so great. Literally, I had to rewind that to just listen to every piece.
And I knew the story, but this is the only this is the only logical direction with the show now, in my opinion. Like how they're gonna because the show had to be. The show, I wouldn't go as far as saying the show is like an edgelord show, but the show had to be is always a whole edgy show. It had to catch you off guard. It don't have to bludgeon you over the head with emotions necessarily, but what they do with it is like, all right, where we gonna go with the logic against? How are they gonna go do logic against intelligence? Like, what's the dark side of intelligence? And they didn't really get into that yet in the show. They just show the consequences, but they didn't get into putting that into words. And right. That Susan Sarandon speech started now. Like, wait, that was so well done.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like when you just think about it, it makes perfect sense. You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's really well done. It's not because what I like about it is that they preface it with Rick's cynical speech about Susan Sarandon's job and career. I love that. How they start with that, and it's like, all right, so it's a nice. It's true, in a sense, it's true, and it's very cynical. But that Susan Sarandon's counterpointed is so perfect. It's like, you don't understand why people like her exist. Now you can talk about therapy if therapy weak or if it's this and all of this bastion to mediocrity stuff, but then they hit you, what Susan Sarandon hit it back with was so perfect though. Yeah. About the idea of just you'd work. That was great.
Yeah.
I was so glad that
was great.
And the show laid seeds to it from since season 1 with that. So they had to resolve the whole thing. And the character they had to bring back, of course, is a character from season 1, Evil Morty.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What they're going to do with that, because you get to see Morty's relationship here. So I did the Vindigators episode, which was, I still really like, solid episode, but a lot of it fell flat.
But somewhere not near the end where, where they was coming to like the ultimate, like to the big climax, and I was like, oh, that was it. All right. Okay. Yeah. But the Logic cameo, cameo by rapper Logic, that was great as well, because, well, for those who don't know, Logic is very heavy into like sci-fi, into science fiction. So like his last 2 albums had this kind of sci-fi feel to it, this kind of existential feel to it. But in here it's just him just rapping this. So like they just invite him to this kind of space part, whoever. So he just spit the rhymes. It was funny.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people started to react to the episode, negatively. I know a lot of people some people say, this season was the worst season, and really? I understand. But here's the thing. It's not that I agree with them. I don't think they're right at all. But I understand where it's coming from, right? Because, and again, we kind of going back to the whole social justice stuff. This is not like, quote unquote SJW is taking over Rick and Morty or any of that nonsense. It's the fact that the simple fact is that this show has to go in the direction of emotions. That's what it has to do, right? It has to go into the relationship with intelligence and emotions, and how it is you're dealing with this existentialist stuff, given the fact that what Rick is and how he is.
Yeah.
So it's not, so you're gonna have that style of writing, which is largely very well informed if you know what you're talking about. It don't have to be some bullshit about race or some nonsense like that, or identity. Identity and race is a part of it, but it's not about that, and it will perfectly fit with what they want to do with the show. So they had a couple female writers come on, they hyped that, and everybody was like, oh, the SJW's taking over the show, woman on the show. It's like, no, well, women was always on the staff and the writers team. Is just this time they are the focus, right? Is it that only women can write about that? Probably, but that is not the point. It's about going in that direction that's important.
Right.
And that I thought was quite well done. Again, that's surrounding season, and then the tragic aspect of Rick and Beth just being completely denialist and dismissive about it after. Summer and what he wanted to going back is like, hey, I kind of like to like, you see what's going on there. Like, all right, this could shape up to be something quite brilliant. I really hope they stick the landing with this. There's only 4 episodes in. Episode 5 coming out tomorrow. Want to see what they could do with it.
Same here. All right. So before we actually get to our reviews, just one thing that I just want to mention. This actually will take a while, not too long, of course, because we really do have a lot of things to talk about. It's a shame that we didn't meet up last week to really mention it, but for me though, I just feel it's something that I just have to talk about, and that is the unfortunate passing of a YouTuber that probably one of my favorite YouTubers by the name of Emer Prevost. His handle was called Helsing920. And the thing is about it, like, I have been a fan of his for a long while. And the thing is, like, I didn't even know that he died. Well, actually, he passed away on the Monday of 14th of this month. And I didn't even know about it till the night afterwards, which is something that I haven't seen before in YouTube. Well, you probably have seen it, because I know a lot of YouTubers. Well, not personally, of course. Different people coming out on YouTube and just expressing their thoughts about his passing away. I've never seen that before. It's only through those I was like, oh shit, he's dead. Wow.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, well, this is one thing that I always always admired about him, is that it was always like he kind of made us part of his life in a way. So the issue that he was suffering from, the ailment he was suffering from was pains, this hernia issue that he was having. So he had to lose weight before he actually did the operation. And from what I know, he died during that process. And another YouTuber went through the same thing. I forgot his name. Well, it's Boogie something.
Boogie 992.
Yeah, right, 992. Who's
follow.
Yeah.
992 is 9292
I can't remember the figures. That's why I just bothered not to mention.
Yeah.
But I watch his videos every once in a while, and just like Boogie, Emma is just as big as he is. Although
9928,
the way how he frames his shots, you can't really tell how big he is. But he is a large man, right? From what I saw with his recent videos, Boogie went through that same operation as well, to that same sort of hernia thing, and luckily he made it. I think he put out a couple of videos talking about how he felt afterwards and stuff like that. But essentially, Emma went through the same operation, but unfortunately for him, it didn't work out the way it did. But the thing is with me and Emma, how early enough I got into his stuff was I believe it was around the time when, like, I was considering watching this movie, which is one I remember we hinted at last year of actually doing a review, which is Salo, or the 120 Days of Sodom, right?
Right. Yeah.
I always remember like asking myself if I should really watch this film now. So let me just see what people say about it. Let me just see a review of it, and then I saw his review of it, and essentially his process of doing things. I know this is not new in terms of YouTube, but he does something called reaction and review, and that was one of the shows that he had on his channel, which is essentially where he watches a film for the first time ever, and then you would see, like, 15 minutes later, or 40 minutes later, or 30 minutes later, and then you'll hear him kind of talking about how he's feeling, or how he's responding to what's on screen, right? And after that, he will do like this review, and like he's not like a big critic like, say, a Richard Roper or anything like that. He just keeps it real. He uses a lot of foul language, but to me, and I know that'll be a turn off to a lot of viewers, but to me, what I liked about that is just it really shows how brutally honest he tends to be with his reviews. He wants to keep it real. He doesn't dumb himself down for anybody, right? Another review I watched afterwards was for one called Eraserhead, and I remember a lot of people not liking that review because, well, I would admit a lot of people like to put that movie in high regard. I actually put that movie in high regard as well. But there are lots of people who kind of look at it and think, it's just pretentious bullshit. And if you think that's what it is, then fine, right? So he was one of the few that came out and said, yeah, I find it's pretentious bullshit. You don't like it, fine. But that's my opinion. And that really stood out to me. So over the past roughly 3 or 4 years, I've been watching watching a majority of his reviews. He actually has a lot of videos on his channel right now. And what I loved about his reaction review show is that, while people like us would look for like the latest movie in theaters and talk about that, or the latest movie on Netflix and talk about that, he would look for like these like rare kind of underground, like kind of low key kind of films, cult classics, those kind of things. And how he gets into them is usually if he just spots them at a yard sale, or he buys it off of he watches it off of Netflix, or he has Amazon wish lists where people who subscribe to his channel could actually put in titles that he could buy later on and then review them. So that's his motion. It's not like he just picks shows randomly and just watches them for the sake of doing so, and he would just come with these like real weird these titles that some stuff that I still up to this day won't watch. Like one of his early reviews was on a Serbian film, and he actually loves this film actually, but that's a show that for the life of me, I just can't watch just because of all
these are horrifying content. Movies. There's only really one part of it, and we know what part of it.
But to me, everything else about it just sounds really terrible.
It's when you look back at and think about it, really a kind of edgelord film. It's one of those films that has shock value, and it need to shock you, so they shock you.
He also talked about shows like Cannibal Holocaust, and there was one he talked about called Slaughtered Vomit Gills, and it's just all these like real weird these weird titles now. But at the same time he'll talk about like 90s comedies or 2000 comedies or action films or sci-fi and horrors, because he is a horror enthusiast as well. He even did a review for Hostel 3. I didn't even know there was a Hostel 3. It was a direct-to-video kind of thing, and he hates it. But I love the style of it. I loved how simple it was. It was just him in front of a camera just talking to us. Not a lot of cuts in it. That was one of the things that impressed me, especially when he did his review section. There was no cuts in it at all, unless it was absolutely necessary. You just only see the cuts for the reaction section. He also had different shows. Well, he was into that whole unboxing thing. Getting items from Loot Crate, those kind of things. He also did videos on comic books. He even took shots at other YouTubers as well, for good reason as well too. It's not like he just kind of wakes up one day and say, I'm just gonna talk about Angry Joe or some kind of thing. He did take shots at Angry Joe before, during the whole YouTube debacle with monetization and stuff like that. He did call him out there, right? But just his style though, and just the way how he did it, it just felt like for me, loving to always watching films, especially like on my laptop, like say on a Sunday night, whatever. It just made me feel personally like I was just part of this community, this kind of club now, where we watch these kind of like crazy movies or whatever and just react to it. It's something that, or review it. It's something that I always wanted to do in some way, shape, or form. Not just just watching a film and then being able to talk about it with other people, which is technically what we're doing here right now. But earlier this year is when he talked about the whole hernia issue and how he had a lot of pains, stomach pains and all that kind of stuff. And you really saw in terms of his output how it was affecting the channel. There was even a point in time where he mentioned that he had to go to the hospital. He did this little video off of his phone. It was just an audio message actually, talking about where he wasn't sure about the future of his channel and all that kind of stuff. But he still somehow tried to put out content, because one thing that he said in one of his videos, where to him it wasn't about the money, it wasn't about the fame, it wasn't about being on Watch Mojo's top 10 favorite YouTubers or whatever. It was about entertaining his fans, entertaining the people who tune into stuff every week or whatever. And that to me stood out the most. But yes, and he also did like those video game kind of reactions, like he'll play a game and record himself playing it, those kind of things. So he did that as well too. He was a very avid video game player as well too.
Right.
And like for me though, just being a fan of it, I was just always looking forward. I was just hoping that at least the operation would have worked good, and then at least he would get something new, and he would be like, yes, the operation turned out to be a success, and everything is fine now, so we could get back to doing more reaction reviews. And then that news just dropped there, and I was like, wow, you know what I mean? I just couldn't believe it. It really took me out of it though.
Right, I knew about the guy because of so one of the YouTubers I like listening to, a fellow called Razorfist. By the way, he's doing a Mad Max month right now, which is hilarious on its own. But Razorfist, well, he's another person not very politically correct. He put a little too much politics in his video. He kind of right wing, but his spitfire style of humor is what I like, and he's the one who told me about. Found out about it through his content.
Right.
That's how I knew about the guy. And basically, it's Boogie 299 we was trying to think of.
Right, Boogie 299, yes.
Right, yeah, right, and from what I understand, the guy, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of remember this guy, but I never used to watch his videos myself. But yeah, I kind of remember Boogie a little bit, except more into gaming, a little less politically correct, a little less nasty in his material, but still solid stuff, and welcome person in the community, and it's unfortunate to see him go.
Yeah, and I know to some people they mightn't like his style, they mightn't like the fact that he curses a lot and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's part of the. I mean, it's comedy territory, and we could get into the argument of if we could be funny without humor, without being too rude or whatever it is, or raunchy. But yeah, he, sorry to say it, I think it's almost a necessary condition, for good humor to exist at least, or to flourish. You had to have cutting edge, being on the edge, even if it's for its own sake.
Yeah. So I don't know, I was thinking about it, and I was like, literally wondering if I should mention this to you now, because I know you probably might watch one of his videos and be like, well, I don't really care for this. I don't like this kind of style. Really reviewing the film, you just kind of talking about.
Oh yeah, I have my own.
Off, that kind of thing, now, But there was still something about his videos and just the way how he put them out on a regular basis, and the amount that he did do that's one thing that really amazed me, just the amount of content that's on his channel right now. And just dumb question, right? Ever since he passed away, I was always wondering, asking myself this question: so when a YouTuber dies, does that channel stay up, or would it eventually go?
Yeah, I can imagine if you don't maintain it, because I forget who it was, the parents was putting out stuff for it after. Like, I remember some guy, he had cancer, he had like 3 months to live, he didn't make it, and I think what happened they just leave the channel up, but what happened is that the parents just put like one last video, kind of just stating what was going on, and I think they just like linked to like one of them, some cancer fund or one of those charities or something along those lines. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, the channel will stay up unless it could stay up. It have no reason for a channel to go down once it's somewhat active. I think after about, I forget what YouTube monitor policy is, because it's changing every week now.
Right.
But YouTube's policy, I think after about 6 months, I think if you don't touch it at all, it'll just disappear after a while. They'll give you a warning. I think they'll give you a warning. They might give you another one. I ain't know the show going on.
All right.
Although, but again, right now with YouTube real fucking around. So.
Yeah, that's the thing though. And
right.
I'll just say just one last thing in closing though. One thing that in case you guys were wondering how he really started this whole reaction review thing, actually it was because he and his a few of his gamer friends actually had decided one day that they were going to watch a film from this guy from the Nostalgia Critic himself, Doug Walker, right? So he put out a movie called Kick-Ass-Here. And what I heard a lot of people saying is a terrible movie. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no,
I kind of don't want to.
So, it's really stupid.
Yeah, so his first reaction was to that movie.
Doug Walker content is like this kind of self-referential dumb stuff. So I'll put Kick-Ass-Here on the same level as Space Cop.
Oh god.
It's,
right.
It's that now. It's that bullshit. They're trying to be funny. They're kind of funny maybe if you're on the in jokes, then it's funny.
Right,
but
exactly.
You can't have the be on the in jokes.
And you had to know the characters that these YouTubers playing.
Right.
It would make sense.
But Doug Walker, I think is every time they had a big anniversary or something along those lines, they did a movie, and they had like 3 so far. So they did. I forget what was the first one, and then
no Kick-Ass, and then it was Suburban Nights, which Emma also reviewed as well, and he did. Not as much as Kick-Ass though, but yeah.
Right, and then they did one with Out in Space, but I forget what it was about. It was real dumb because you thought the way I was going is that you thought we was Nostalgia Critic was retiring the character now.
Okay.
Because he bought a studio, and we thought he was going to do some serious shit, and then he just ended up going back to the nostalgia critic bit.
Right, which
with the studio.
Is what he's doing now, right? Because I see
he's still doing it.
His style changed because of the whole YouTube thing.
A little bit. I mean, it's roughly the same idea. So we bring on a couple new people, like about a year back or 2 years back, and I'll admit I've been watching his stuff. I mean, I watch a couple of his recent stuff, but I haven't really been that excited for his material for a long time.
Well, me too, actually.
And I'll straight up admit
like his older stuff.
Yeah, and I'll straight up admit it, he is really no longer relevant. I think so. A lot of his material is still not really nostalgia stuff. You don't know what to focus on anymore. But he did the G.I. Joe movie the other day, the one from the 80s.
Oh, for the 80s. I saw that actually pop up on my feed, but I was like,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
Kind of feel to watch it.
Yeah, I watched your review because I remember kind of being underwhelmed by that movie. I thought the idea or the premise of the movie was dumb.
I thought it was alright. Like this disposable 80s cheese.
No, but the whole Cobra La thing was really stupid. That was just that shit. But anyway,
so back to Emma there. And don't worry, I'll round up here. So that was actually the first reaction that he did, and of course he absolutely hated the movie. Right. And then from there, because of the success of that, he just started to do more videos. So that's where Serbian film and the other films really sprung from that. But but really at the end of the day, for me though, what I loved about his reaction review show was just, like I say, just simply you watching a film and then talking about it with other people. I just find it something very simple. I think that's something that we need to do, especially in terms of our film industry. I know that's another story and another space and time to talk about. I think that's how we will actually really get, how you really appreciate films a lot more. And then also too, where the end of the day wasn't really so much about the money that you get every month. It was just about entertaining people, just making sure that they have something that they could watch and enjoy and rewatch and thing. And then also too, just finally, just being honest about how you feel about a film, just because everybody loves a particular movie doesn't mean you have to. I
think that is my my most important point. And I never really rant about this, but because it keep coming up in the argument of why I have a big problem with people like CinemaSins, because CinemaSins is largely dishonest. He compared to the other two who similar to him, his videos are he's very disingenuous. Like, so the other day, I don't know if you know, the director of Kong laid into him on Twitter.
I saw the article, but I didn't get
right.
To read it.
But they keep bringing back up this argument that keep coming back up of why people don't like CinemaSins. And here's my thing. I have my own 2 cents, but they have 2 people who, to me, covered it next to perfect. Now, they get the Kong guy covered it quite well. And there's another guy he has a guy called Bob Vids who does everything wrong with. And he's covered basically any CinemaSins video that he had a particular problem with, especially like the MCU videos.
Right.
And then Lindsay Ellis also had a big thread against CinemaSins of why CinemaSins is a problem. And so we could get into that argument because it's a really disingenuous, weird, epistemic space that CinemaSins put himself in and put other people in. But that's something that we'll have to talk about. However, look up everything wrong with anybody. If you never see it, it's actually really good videos because it debunks a lot of things that people use to defend CinemaSins.
Right.
Anyway.
I just think personally it's just that it's cool the first few times when you see that's right, you find kind of stupid that the person didn't do this, but then afterwards the joke just kind of but you see more videos and it's like
here's the thing with CinemaSins. CinemaSins is one thing. Here's my attitude about internet snark and being sarcastic and sardonic, right? You have to earn that. And if your arguments are really, really cogent, then you could build snark and sarcasm on top of that. So even though your arguments don't have to be absolutely perfect or anything like that, but they have to have a solid narrative. So Red Letter Media works, right? Yes, they're very sardonic. Yes, they're very biting in the sarcasm, but at least they have a functionally cogent argument for every time they criticize something, right? You understand where they're coming from. Other people who really bite in satire types like Nostalgia Critic, all these other guys, right?
Yeah.
They sometimes they're dead wrong and the arguments is complete bullshit, so you could jump on them for that. But CinemaSins he does something very disingenuous where it makes it look like the critiques themselves are part of the satire, and that is not true. That is actually his actual critiques. So he want to have snark and have bad arguments and try to get away with both of it. And then when you call him out for it, his backpedal is he was trolling all along. He was this master troll. That shit, yeah. It's some really cancerous bullshit in my opinion. And people still defend him to this day with that nonsense now. A lot of people keep defending him, but I remember people use his videos as legit critiques against these films, right?
And so to hear blame them too, you know?
Exactly. And to hear this in my opinion is straight up revisionism. To hear that was part of the troll all along is not true. That it's just disingenuous bullshit now.
Yeah, like do a disclaimer. Sorry, I want to say disclaimer. Oops, a disclaimer at the beginning.
Look,
if need be.
Again, he puts himself in a real interesting, like, epistemic space, because what he does quite well is that, he could always keep backpedaling and say, that was a troll too, and that was a troll too, and that was a troll too. Don't trust anything I say. That nonsense now. But my thing is that people, and then what you're basically saying is that a good chunk of his fans somehow fully was in the joke and still spread it as part of the troll. Like, is that shit now? It's unfalsifiable nonsense now that you have no way to disprove now. I find that so weird. And the thing is, all of a sudden, CinemaSins fans still trying to like backpedal, like, it was never a critique. There's not a real critique of the film, you know. And he's like, I kind of glad to see the guy, even though the guy went a little too far with his bullshit. Because, like, dude, you're already a big filmmaker who pull off a good movie. Like, you don't need to spend too much time on CinemaSins, like, whatever.
Right.
CinemaSins will always have his fans. I don't have to fight that down. He have a very big following online, whatever it is. I never thought he was particularly funny. I always thought Screen Junkies and Hishi, how it should have ended, those guys were always funnier in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But at least with Screen Junkies and Hishi, at least he had a workable demarcation with what is funny and what is a joke.
Yeah.
Red Letter Media, same thing. You know, you had a sense of, all right, you get a sense of where's the joke, where's the actual critique, right? And you could occasionally go over the line with what I don't like in terms of this. You're not sure what the real critique is, what is a joke kind of thing. But CinemaSins is a bullshitter, sorry, and he's a liar. That's my problem with his whole thing now. But whatever, we talked about this before. We'll more likely talk about it again. I just hate to see people defend this man in the worst ways, because you have so much evidence against that now. And then is this half nihilism attitude of where I shouldn't care about it? I'm like, no, the man is a bullshitter and a liar. Stop using his arguments as legit critique. Because every time they say that, somebody will put out a video right after, hey, look how CinemaSins ripped this video in half, boy. I'm like, oh, well, you know, you just look like an ass again.
You know, and the thing is that people like him, I mean, no disrespect to him, people like him will be even more popular than, you know, this guy who I'm talking about. You know,
right?
I mean, that's just a lunatic.
Yeah,
but
that's it's part of the territory. But my thing is just openly admit that you're defending this bullshit and liar now. Don't come with this nonsense of, well, it didn't matter all along. That bullshit now. Like, no, the man, people is using the man videos as a big refutation of why this movie was so much shit and so on. And it's like, all right. But my thing, I remember,
like, dude, like, to be honest, like, you don't need as you mentioned that, I personally hate when people do that, like, especially on Facebook, where you need a video or you need a reviewer to justify why you don't like a show.
No. Like, okay, here's the thing. I don't really mind. Again, I don't mind if you have a video that's harsh or even generally uncharitable. That's one thing. Like, you have a lot of critiques that are uncharitable reviews, but they're right.
Yeah.
You know, you're right, but you're being an asshole kind of thing. That is fine. Right? I don't like it. I have a problem with it, but it still deserves a space in the intellectual domain.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The idea of being uncharitable, you're being really strident against a video, you're being, well, we could argue about unfair, but to me, uncharitable is like the term I like to use, which is, you're not unfair, you're not lying, you're not being wrong about it, but you're being a douchebag. You're right. Your arguments are solid. I cannot put myself in that place a little bit, right?
Yeah.
The arguments are legit, or at least you have a solid place where you're coming from with the argument, but you're being a douchebag about it. But that's not what CinemaSins does. He goes even further. His arguments are bad, like really bad. Like, they're not even good, close to being coherent or anything like that.
Right.
And then people call him out for it again. Look up everything wrong with. And then when you call him on that, he backpedals and says he's a troll. There's a really funny comic online with that, which is a guy types in uneducated, idiotic opinion, and then people call him out on it. Mm-hmm. And then he you see him typing in with kind of crying and saying, "Oh well, I was trolling all along." That's basically what I think. And is this kind of, again? I think I think that is really goddamn cancer because it undermines humor itself.
Exactly. Like dude, if you mean this, like if you don't like something, just own up to it. Don't try to, like you say, backpedal and be like, well, guys, I was just kidding, I was just kidding. No.
Nah, that's bullshit.
You mean it. And that was
I know, and fans of his it's not him so much, but because he kind of hide out from it now. But fans of his is the worst because their attitude is, well, that was part of the troll too. And if you look up this podcast, by the way, all of that is revisionist bullshit, because he had to put the podcast out after. The simple argument is that he's backpedaling on what his real opinions are. So he's trying to hide the fact what his real opinions are now, after the fact. But we know what his real opinions are because you can find evidence that it lines up with the actual critiques in the video. Right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point now. Whatever. It's a tangent.
A long tangent, but this is the state of how things are on YouTube, especially when it comes to film criticism. It's really, I don't want to say dog eat dog, but just really crazy out there, But if you're a fan of Cinema Sins, I mean, to each his own. Personally, I am not a fan of it. Like, it used to be funny at first, like a couple of times, but afterwards, like, oh god, so everything is gonna be making fun of XYZ. I mean,
well, no, it's really? again, I don't mind that because if you like that and you like that red meat stuff, it have people who into that. That's fine, right? I don't mind that. I myself like to see some of those videos. I like to bite into these shows sometimes, maybe. Yeah. But what he does is to me crossing a line, and it's a double combo of being dishonest and being uncharitable. So it's like you're totally unearned now. He's an idiot. That is the problem now. So it's like, why is you even being sarcastic about this at all? You have no stake in the claim because your critiques are dumb.
Yeah,
they're dumb critiques. So where's the point of having a dumb critique being uncharitable and sarcastic? A dumb sarcastic person is like the worst thing ever. Sarcasm needs intelligence to back itself up. Sorry. If you're being sarcastic, you need to be smart or at least have solid arguments, and then you can build your funny joke on top now, right? Yeah. But it's like a mess now. Whatever. We could debate about that because you have people who come with that bullshit of, well, the man, you part of the joke and you don't get it. So like, no. I get the joke.
Come on.
Yep, you're full of shit. Whatever.
Yeah. But all that being said, well, great. Very interesting. Tangent there, because I mean it's something that goes on, that exists, and we have to talk about these things. But all that aside though, Emer Prevost, rest in peace. You have inspired me. If it wasn't for him, he's one. I would admit, I would say right now he's one of the inspirations for this program that you're hearing right now, and also to an extent was he seen, although that's a whole different story which I don't have time to get into right now. But if you get a chance to, guys, check out his videos, see if they're for you. If they're not, well, so be it, but check them out. You may like them, and I myself was watching a few of them and I was enjoying the handful of them. It's like, I'd probably be a fan of this guy, if he wasn't see. Like, I mean, it's not, like I say, it's not the most perfect thing out there. It's not like the most technically, proficient stuff out there, but it inspired me. So that's all I have to say.
Cool.
Rest in peace, man.
All
right. So moving forward now we're gonna get to movie reviews at long last. Yay! Yeah. So you could start. Well, Ricardo could start off with Nocturama, which is a show that I honestly have not heard of until you mentioned it to me last week. So what is Nocturama about?
Nocturama is a film about
not
terrorism.
To be confused with Futurama. Sorry.
No, it's about So it's a film about terrorism, right? Most notably French terrorism. Most notably French domestic terrorism. It's a strange film. So what it is, it's basically filling into the current zeitgeist of terrorism in France. The idea of multiple attacks. Sometimes you'll hear multiple areas getting bombed at the same time.
Right.
And what it does is gets into that idea of basically the whole story just follows the terrorists. You realize it's a bunch of kids, bunch of teens. Yeah. And here's the thing, I had to watch over this movie because it was unclear to me of why exactly they were doing this.
Well, I was just about to ask you, like, what's the motive?
But it's the general narrative of French. Because the thing is, once you have a working sense of any kind of French history, especially its history with North Africa, you could understand why any type of terrorism could pop up ever so often. And that's kind of what it is. It's like there's no good reason. They make mention of ISIS for 2 seconds. They make mention of like all the past bullshit things that colonial powers had to engage in. So they talk about Iraq and Iran, that war, and all of the things. So I don't think any of the characters are Islamic because they drink alcohol quite readily in it, although that's not necessarily a particular test in a lot of modern terrorists. And then they get into just them as they thought they would have just done this thing and get away with it. And that's it. The story, they don't get away with it. It's actually quite brutal what happens. I didn't love this as much as other people. A lot of it felt flat. It's kind of slow. And then the final, say, 50 to 10 minutes is when shit kind of hit the fan. And it hit the fan in a dumb way, in my opinion. Like, they don't really think this out now. That's kind of the whole point. Like, a lot of terrorism is that they don't really think too many steps ahead. They just think, all right, we'll get the task done, and that's it. In fact, that's why, to me, I would argue a lot of terrorists are suicide bombers because they really don't have a plan after. And they know full well the family or whoever it is will get some money because of what they do. But they themselves don't have any plans after. And that's kind of what happened. But they're so young, they say, all right, well, we could just do this and let it blow over. And that's pretty much it. Again, I have to already look up like why they was doing what he was doing. I have probably me not paying attention fully. So they have about 7 or so characters of young people. There's 2 girls, a really smart boy on top. It's the top of his game. Again, I was watching this in French and with subtitles. I couldn't really find the time to read a lot of this. Gotta watch it once. I had to watch it over. So that's me not being a very good film critic. And basically, it gets into after about I don't know, about a half hour to 45 minutes into this movie, they do their thing. A lot of like multiple buildings, like parliament buildings and government buildings, get hit with this explosion because they use an old plastic explosive from the 1960s that they don't make anymore, but like super powerful.
Right.
So you don't need much to blow up a lot now. And then they light some statue on fire, and so it's multiple terror attacks. And then they hide out for the rest of the movie in this mall, right? That one of the characters, I think at least he claims his father owns it. He seemed to be a rich person, so and then the police track them down and shoot all of them. That's it. And then they unfortunately they invite this old couple, and I think the couple was homeless, into the place, and they end up being collateral victims of the whole thing. The police shoot them assuming they're terrorists as well now. And it's mentioned that the French government essentially say, look, these people are enemies of the state. We're not going to negotiate with them. So they just went in and just shoot every one of these people. And they do some interesting editing tricks with the material. So it cut, and then they'll show a character being killed from basically every different angle and then playing it backwards. So that's what they do. And they cut back and then go forward. So it's like a kind of like how you'll scratch a record.
Yeah,
that's how the editing equivalent of it was. So it'll play a period and it'll cut back at the same time it was happening at every point in time with a different take from a different angle now. And so you get to see a character shot 3 times, but from 3 different characters' perspectives. And that's what it is. It just play with perspective and time in an interesting way. But the story itself wasn't that interesting overall for me.
Oh man.
But it was still brutal. It was just like, all of these little children, because all of them is young people. None of them could be over 20.
Right.
I think one of them is like 20 in his 20s. That's it. Everybody else. It starred, your boy from Raw, the character was the gay guy kind of thing.
He's in it. Okay, I forgot his name. Right.
Yeah, he was in it. And that's pretty much it. I wanted to see this for the year. It's not going to make my top 10 by the stretch of the imagination, I doubt. But I liked it. It was decent and it's good filmmaking. Just solid, competent French filmmaking. I get the feeling the director's very young. I get that feeling because it comes across like that. But I have to look up, his life and his career and wherever it is. But it feels like that. It feels like a young energy type of video, but talking about something important. Because it does a lot of modern juxtaposition of pop culture with, the modern realities of terrorism, especially in France. Because the characters, they're still young people, so they still like pop music. and they still was while they were in the mall, he was like just living it up, listening to certain music, eating food, trying out all the clothes, all of that shit. No, so it was interesting to see that sense of justice especially from the side or the point of view of a terrorist. No? Like terrorists still live lives.
Yeah.
Still normal. It reminded me of I think I forget which movie it was. I think it's Sasako. Sasako kind of humanized the terrorist in one of his movies. But I forget which one it was. It was a relatively recent movie. Came out like a couple of years back.
All right.
Oh gosh, I can't remember right now. But basically, it's something along those lines. It's the idea of what they want to do with how we're going to humanize the terrorists. What are you going to do, especially in a modern context? I still say the plot was kind of dumb because the characters, is something that a character did, or he had a piece of information that he should have used better. But I don't want to spoil that for you. And he kind of fucked up there. And well, as they say, you're done goof now.
Yeah. But is it because they're just young and they just don't know? Or you think they would actually use their common sense now?
That's the thing. To me, it was more if you're young enough, you should still. You're not that young to be that dumb. That was my point.
Right.
But whatever. That was pretty much it. I didn't get the sense of them having a better head on their shoulders about that, given what they do now. But they're still young kids, so their brain not processing what's going on properly. And they just had this sense of justice kind of thing and decide to do what they're doing. Again, it's that humanizing terrorists thing. So how do you humanize terrorists?
Yeah. Apart from making them young and,
Right.
Which
so
makes
the
it
movie,
even more shocking.
Right. So, and again, to make a workable comparison, not very the biggest comparison, but Timbuktu, again, the Sasako film, was how to do the daily humanistic life of a terrorist. Like, again, terrorists live lives. They have to still live lives and still right. They still have to do all of that shit. And how are you going to set that up to make it work? And they make it work. There's some decent characterization. They have some funny moments. They had a whole singing sequence, which was really well. You'll see what they do with it. That was nice. But it's still ultimately this kind of fell flat for me. I didn't completely hate it, so I'll have to give this one a low movie tongue. Okay. It gets a lot of points because of how well it's made. Except for some of these CG explosions, I'll look a little off, but that's about it. It still looked great. Well acted, well shot, well directed, very stylistic. But ultimately didn't really wow me over because I thought they would have like a real big twist or anything like that. As it's one of those movies, sadly, I suppose he had a walking blind. Like right. Because it really it's misleading how it starts off. Okay, thinking well, it's just a bunch of young people and they're all bubbly and nice, and they realize it's a group of terrorists. That's what they was planning. Yeah. They kind of picked that up early on anyway because of what they was talking about. It's like, they're planning to do this. All right, cool, and it doesn't go anywhere more than that. That's about it.
All right.
Yeah. It's a short review because I really thought I would have been more hyped for this and have more to talk about. If you want to get into that aspect of this real brilliant aspect of they need to do this and that and the other, and they could have talked about this given the context of France, I suppose I had to do that, but I don't know enough about French politics or French modern social life to have a proper appreciation for the film, if that make any sense to you.
Yeah, well, it does, and I imagine a lot of people who do will actually obviously get more to this film than you and I guess me will,
Right.
Yeah. All right. So short and sweet review. My own for response could be kind of short as well, and this reason being because unfortunately there's not much to talk about.
Yeah.
And all right. So basically, the thing with response, right? So I saw the poster for it. With Wesley Snipes and this green smoke and this tagline, no retreat, no mercy. And of course, first thing on your mind is, Wesley Snipes acting again, okay? Because I think the last time I saw him in a movie, big Hollywood movie, I know there was Expendables 3, but I skipped out on Expendables 3 because I heard it was terrible. You even told me it sucked.
It was a big disappointment because Expendables 1 was a nice novelty.
I like the two of them. Actually, I prefer the
right. No,
the second one.
Two was a letdown for me. I didn't hate it, but it was a letdown.
I like how it was a little bit more fun than
right.
the first one.
But I wanted it to be more like the first one.
Okay, which I find took itself a little too seriously. Like most 80s action films did, which was what they would reference in.
But that's the idea. Yeah. I just wanted a modern version of, but this one was a little too whatever. But the third one was just like a colossal waste of time for me. And yeah, Wes Snipes was in it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he was. And who could blame them for roping in Wesley Snipes? Because I mean, throughout the majority of the 90s, he was like the black action hero.
Right. He was there.
There was exactly. Remember, he was in Passenger 57. Remember that line, always bet on black. There was Drop Zone. And of course, he did little thrillers. He did like Rising Sun with Sean Connery, which I've seen ages ago. I can't remember if I liked it or not. There was oh gosh, there's just so much to mention. But like in the late 90s, really.
Yeah, it's pretty odd.
For me. Well, sorry, even before that, there was like there was the Spike Lee stuff that he did. So there was Mo Better Blues. There was Jungle Fever, which I love. But of course, to me, the role that will always stick out the most with me is Nino Brown Dread, New Jack City, which remains as in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I love New Jack City. I love that. I even love it more than Scarface, and I've seen a lot. Argue with me as much as you want to, but I think
I actually
is better than Scarface. No, I mean Scarface is a masterpiece, but what
I totally understand where you're coming from.
In terms of
like, I could see
that formula was perfect.
Yeah. I could see somebody making that argument. It's not a totally off the rail argument in my opinion.
Yeah, and just the fact that there was a scene when Nino was watching Scarface and it was like, we're not gonna make the same mistake that Tony did.
Yeah, it had a logical build to it, you see.
Yeah. And just the plan and just how he did how he built his drug empire, that was just amazing. Yeah. I just love that. But the second role I'll always remember him for is Blade,
Of course.
1998's Blade. That was a smash hit. And of course there was the sequel, Blade 2, which I enjoyed as well too. I think both films are great in their own regard. I'm not even going to waste your time to say one is better than two or vice versa. I think both of them are great for their own right.
Well, I happen to prefer the second one, but
two had a nice. Yeah, it was style and substance. It had a nice style.
But the first film was solid vampire stuff. But
it was real, like it was tearing on that 90s vibe. So you look at it.
That's what it was. It was a product of the 90s. The whole wearing black shade stuff before the Matrix.
Of course, and the techno music and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And then Wesley Snipes. Well, I think I know where the turning point was with Wesley Snipes' career. He's mostly Late Trinity. Yeah, but it's not so much the film itself. Film sucked, but it's what happened behind the scenes, and it was a lot of bridge burning occurred, from what I understand, on Snipes' part, and then. He got into a lot of trouble with tax.
Yes. Which by the way, Kendrick Lamar referenced on the first track of To Pimp a Butterfly. That's why he titled it's called Wesley's Theory. Because about the whole fact that we still have to pay taxes. If you don't, you'll end up being like Wesley and get arrested and stuff like that. So
the whole tax thing and that whole, there's a lot of black celebrities that just try to avoid paying taxes. You notice.
Of course.
But Wesley Snipes is a poster child of that, and he makes some jail, and then on top of that he burned bridges in Hollywood, so he's in a bad space right now. And I hope somebody give him like something on the level of a 824 film where he could really come back, not this bullshit. And for what I understand, this movie is a bullshit movie.
It is, because
really in a bad place.
I don't know, I don't know what the rating is on Metacritic.
I saw a really low score
on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Is what
0%.
Yeah, it's really low. It's like, from what I understand on Metacritic, it's like something along the lines of 13%. Or something like a ridiculously low score. Like Emoji Movie level score now.
Yeah.
Like bargain basement, straight to DVD bullshit now.
Right. No, as you mentioned that. So, direct to straight to home media kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, okay, so it's from Lionsgate and WWE Films. So if you remember in our last review where we talked about Slight, which was also from WWE Films, I praised the film for just the fact that it is a film from that label, from that brand that does not have a wrestler in it and told a fairly competent story. So it shows that they could actually make fairly decent movies without relying on taking up a wrestler and putting him in the forefront now. So here there is, the only wrestler that's in this film is Seth Rollins, as in Seth freaking Rollins, right? One of the most popular wrestlers right now. So he is not the lead in this one. This one is Wesley Snipes. True and true. It's directed by John Stockwell, who last year directed Kickboxer Vengeance, which once again is one of those shows that you would think would just come out on home media, but somehow made it to theaters. And same thing with this show here. Somehow it made it in theaters, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, what struck me about it, right, is that, like, on the Caribbean Cinemas website, right, and even on Wikipedia itself, the page for it, it calls it an action horror. But the thing is, when I saw the trailer for it, it didn't look like a horror to me. It looked like an action thriller, which is fine, but because you expect those kind of that style of action film, when you see trailers such as that. So I saw nothing horrific in it. So going into this thing, I tell myself, okay, well, maybe I'll understand where this whole horror element come in. So essentially, not to get into detail about the story, because it tries to make sense of its own self, but then it just gets convoluted and just dumb. So it starts off with like these military personnel, right? And they are working in this facility, this prison actually, and inside that prison has this artificial intelligence system called the Temple. And essentially what the Temple is, it's like the ultimate lie detector machine. So you just strap the prisoner down, and it could sense through the way how a person reacts, if whether it's suddenly like the person was sweating or twitching or whatever, and just pick up on these little things and be able to pick up on be able to literally type out what the person is thinking. It's real crazy. So there's one scene where this character is strapped, and like Wesley Snipes is interrogating the guy now. So it's like, okay, so when is this bomb gonna go off? Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? Is it Wednesday? Is it Thursday? Is it Thursday? And then the computer somehow recognize how he was sweating every time he say Thursday, or how he twitched when he say Thursday, and then somehow pick up, oh well, it's Thursday. It's really weird. It's really convoluted. But anyway, so these military personnel, this alarm goes off, they go, and all of them basically get wiped out. So Wesley Snipes goes in to investigate. He brings in the designer of the system. His name is Gabriel. He's played by Dave Annabelle, or whatever his name is. It's Annable. I was about to say Annabelle for a second. Right, so he's the guy who created the system, right? And through this, to me, unintentionally hilarious flashback, we see why he is so damaged, why he lives on his own, why he kind of turned his back on the military. So, slight spoiler, is this thing involving his daughter, and she was riding on this bike. This young little girl, right? Preteen, right? And the bike goes down this hill, like this small hill, and she can't control it, and then she ends up on the street, and then this truck comes and knocks her down. I just find the way how it was pulled off was just hilarious.
Right.
But I'll get into why this scene makes no sense in the overall narrative of the film later on. So Wesley meets up with him. Is like, okay, there's something going on in the prison. We need to go there. We have this task force with us. One of the members is played by Seth Rollins, of all people. And by the way, this is his debut appearance in a feature film. And also another character who shows up is Riley, who is played by none other than Anne Heche.
Okay.
When's the last time you heard of Anne Heche in a movie?
Yeah, well, that's like a wilderness.
Like, I never followed her filmography at all. I just remember 6 Days, 7 Nights, and I was young at the time. I was like, okay, I know Harrison Ford in it. Harrison Ford's my boy. Right. But this looking like garbage. I don't want to see it. I'm young. I want to see Blade or whatever. I don't want to see no adventure romance crap. Some romance in the stone kind of BS. I don't want to see that. I don't know. I just kind of tune out of her stuff after that. So I know she was in other films and stuff, but I just never took notice of any of them. Right. So yeah. So she's one of the soldiers as well. So essentially they go inside. They get introduced to the system. And they're looking through, footage of how these soldiers die, and then they see that is some kind of otherworldly force, if you will, some force out there that just somehow spook these individuals into getting themselves killed.
Right.
So they're trying to figure out what's going on, and then they try to hint it, but it just comes off really, half-assed now, where all of them were trying to hide the fact that there was this mission that they went to in the Middle East, and things went bad, and innocent people got killed in the process, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there's this prisoner who comes in like oh so conveniently, right, to this prison, and he is played by, I shit you not, Gene Simmons.
Okay. Why he in this?
As in one of the main members of Kiss.
I like Ozzy Osbourne in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, as in one of the members of the legendary rock band Kiss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gene Simmons, almost unrecognizable. I didn't even notice him until I saw the credits. Like, what? Right. You? And he just looks like this tough, like buff wrestler-looking guy now. He does not look like how he used to. Well, then again, I never used to follow his stuff up, but he looks way different here now. So, to make a long story short, it's essentially the system playing tricks on them, playing mind tricks on them, and even kind of manipulating, just manipulating the environment around them. So yes, these characters just kind of get picked off one after the other.
Okay.
And here's the thing, right? Like just going back to the whole action horror thing. Now, from the word go, you get to this sort of alien vibe from it. You know, these characters in this confined space. You know, some force is going around killing people off. They're trying to figure out what it is and all that kind of stuff. So you have that. Then you have this whole military thing where it's this prisoner that you can't trust, and you know it's who trusts who and all that kind of thing, and you know that kind of stuff now. And then you have the sci-fi element, of course, with the AI being so sentient and so aware, and you know, so not to spoil anything. Apparently, these characters have all these dark things about them, and the AI itself is just kind of exposing it now. So it's just kind of using those dark elements inside their psyche against them, you know. But then that brings up the question, well, okay, these people just conveniently come into this one place, so why would the AI pick them off? It's not like, okay, so maybe if the AI itself figure out, okay, well, these guys were involved in this thing in the past, so blah 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 blah, why kill them in the first place? It's never explained why these characters are killed. It can't just be because they're soldiers and they're required to do things that may be wrong, but you know they are soldiers, so that's what they have to do. It can't be a reason as unintelligible as that. There has to be more to it. It can't just be these characters show up, boom, and they just get killed because they're soldiers. That's what I got out of it. Right. And the film itself never stops to really kind of explain that. It's just they're there, and they just getting picked off, and all the while they try to figure out what is going on, and then they thinking it's some kind of demonic force or some kind of thing. So, and then when the AI itself kind of attacks, it kind of comes off a little strange, like a little, you know, paranormal now, kind of demonic as well. Right. You're not sure how or why it could do that. How this AI able to manipulate? Let me just say, like this one scene where a character is grabbed by his arms. So the left and the right wall, because he's in the hallway, somehow hands come out of those walls and grab him by both hands and rip them apart. How? Okay. Even if it's AI, how is this possible? And then, but you know, you could argue and say because there are moments where it's all in their head now, so they're seeing things, right? They're seeing images, like Wesley Snipes' character, his name is Isaac. He's seeing these images from his past, you know, from that same attack that I mentioned before where some innocent people got killed. He's seeing those things, right? But still, how would this AI pick up on those things now? Out of the blue? They weren't in the room well, not all the soldiers were at the interrogation room. So how did the AI pick up on it? And why is the AI just suddenly decide, no, I'm just going to kill these people because movie? I don't know. So that's just one thing. That's just the main thing that's bugged me about this show. But apart from all that, this just felt like a hodgepodge of just different ideas, different elements from more superior films. So of course you have your Predator element with all these soldiers with guns and stuff, but it's still getting picked off by this unknown, unseen enemy. You have I was thinking like Demon Seed in a sense. If you remember Demon Seed, you know this AI that suddenly becomes so sentient that you know it wanted to have a child with Julie Christie, but in this case it's just like. Or more, not so much Demon Seed, but more like Alien itself, you know, the you know, Mother, the AI there. I was thinking that, you know, that kind of thing where suddenly it was self-aware and all that kind of stuff. But really and truly, you know, you could throw a bunch of elements as much as you want to, but one of the main problems with this movie here is that oftentimes it's not sure what it wants to be. Is it an action film? Not really, because there's hardly any action in it. It's just really in the second or third act you will actually see, guns go off or whatever like that. There's even in the third act the shootout that takes place. It's like, oh cool, this is really kind of entertaining. A little too late, but whatever. But it goes nowhere. And just essentially these soldiers, I'm not gonna say who just suddenly betray other characters because movie. I don't know why it just happens. And then you want to be this horror film, so you want to have all these kind of like these horrific supernatural kind of elements, but they don't work in the context of the story because it's an AI. It's not like some sort of portal and some demonic forces. It's a computer system. So where's this horror thing coming from? So it's just all these elements that just don't work, and then the acting here doesn't work at all. Wesley Snipes just phones it in. You could just tell because he's just so unnaturally cool and calm about everything.
Yeah.
Even when things going crazy, just like just relax, guys. Take it easy. Take it easy. He's not on edge now. Anhish is there, but I didn't really care about her. The guy who created the system, he just there to just spit a whole bunch of exposition about how the system works and why this and why that and why that and why that. And I'll just talk about the whole thing about why that flashback scene with his daughter doesn't work, because it's never mentioned at all throughout the rest of the film. Now you think because this AI is just using the soldiers' face to get at them, you would think you would see some kind of moment with the daughter. You don't. So if the major issue is just that these soldiers were involved in this thing in the Middle East and people got killed unnecessarily, why couldn't that be the flashback? Why couldn't that be the moment that pretty much sets this whole story in motion? What this whole thing with this girl on a bike getting bounds on has to do with anything? I don't know.
Right.
What else I could say? I mean, the color correction looked pretty good. That's the only thing I could say about cinematography. That the color correction looked good. There's these kind of drone shots that they use as like establishing shots that just kind of linger on for too long. So it's just like it's just like this exterior shot of like the prison, all that kind of stuff. Didn't really add anything to the story. I was just like, why are these shots lingered on for? It would just be there like on screen for like about 10 seconds for too long or whatever. I was like, why? The music is forgettable. The characters are forgettable. They are bland. They are one-dimensional. You do not care about any of them, even though in true cliche format they always have to stop the film to have these characters talk about each other about what we're gonna do. We're gonna get killed. Why? And all that kind of stuff. And you're thinking this is character development when in reality it's not. It is not character development. When you have characters in a situation trying to figure out what to do, that's not character development at all. They could have done that from the beginning, but they didn't really do anything at all. It's just, hey, I'm Isaac. Hey, I'm Gabriel. Hey, I'm Riley, and that's it. Seth Rollins is there. He gets to throw some F-bombs. That's the only thing I could really say about him, but really and truly, they could have put anybody else to play his character. And overall, this thing was just a mess from start to end. Nothing worked. Nothing made sense. The whole AI thing was a clever idea, but they didn't really do anything much with it. They didn't really do anything clever or interesting. Or I should say, when they try to do things clever, they always have to stop and give you all these exposition. And you ever see a film where people talk exposition stuff, right? And it sounds so smart, but then when you think about it, it makes no sense.
Yeah, that is normal sci-fi bullshit.
That's what it is. That's
what you call it. It's called a technobabble.
Yeah, they talk all these things about how how the temple AI is so out there and so this and so that and why these things are happening. And when all these things are slowly revealed, it just makes no sense. And then you there like this film clocks it at 93 minutes, right? And it's only after the first hour where you finally get to understand why these things are happening. So yes, the pacing is off. The pacing is so slow in this. But yeah, really this was just a failure, boy. But the thing about it is that because of the people involved, well, not so much Lionsgate, but WWE films, it's easy for somebody like me to say, yeah, well, of course the movie was going to be bad. Of course it's going to suck, right? But I didn't expect it to suck this hard, though. And just the fact that you bring in somebody like Wesley Snipes, who people are going to see this movie because he's there. Because I know, you know, you go to like a DVD store and you see this movie, like, oh, Wesley Snipes, I really like that fella, but I don't watch this movie. And then you sit down and it's like, yeah, but he not really doing much in it. So what's the point? You know, it's a major letdown. And I know a lot of Wesley Snipes fans will watch this and be let down by it. I know a lot of Seth Rollins fans gonna watch this thing and be disappointed by it just because of the little amount of things he had to do in this film. And just for me personally, because I expected an action film or more action thriller, and I got this kind of hodgepodge of you want to be a horror film, you want to be a sci-fi, you want to be an action, but you're not sure what it is you want to be. I was disappointed most at that, really, you know, just the film itself not being sure of what it wants to be. So yeah, in short, yeah, this movie was a colossal waste of time. It was a failure. It is one of the worst movies I've seen this year. And you know, for me to just say, you know what, this is forgettable, forget, I don't even need to put this in my worst stuff list. But I'm sorry, I kind of had to put this here because, you know, like, I wasn't expecting wonders out of this, but, you know, you could have just told a simple story. You didn't need to put in all this technobabble, as you see, and try to be all smart and clever when in reality, you're not. It just makes no sense at all. You just feel right there. So yeah, for me, I have to give this a 1.5 out of 5 stars. This shit was crazy. This shit crazy. The reason why I wouldn't give it a 1 though is because once again, I just went in. It's a WWE Films movie, and you know, I just went in with low expectations. Expect a certain level, but yeah, the level was just so much lower here, boy. So you know, if all I was just saying closing. What Slight, you know, from WWE Films, you'll enjoy Slight. I can't really vouch for the other stuff in their filmography, but you know, if you like 12 rounds and them kind of things, good for you. But skip this movie. Just skip this.
Was the one with the island with Stone Cold?
Yeah, the Condemned and all that kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, you will get more enjoyment out of that.
I think it's which one of the Mirror they did, boy? Sinister. Some horror they did.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but all I would just say though is like if more or less just stick to the disposable movies that actually have the wrestler as a lead. So at least if his acting doesn't sell anything, at least he could do action or whatever. At least you get your money's worth. When you have a man like Wesley Snipes, who, you know, I mean, it's unfortunate for him. He has to reduce himself to this level. You know, doing these direct-to-video kind of things, you know, because I just remember the last film that I remember him seeing him in. I can't remember the name of it. Was this Western horror film? So it was just him in black, and it was this kind of Western thing with vampires or something.
He has been shitting the bed for a while with these bad movies. Some really bad stuff has been for a little while, like a good little while.
That was like the last recent show I saw from him, though, you know. But it's
that TV series for a while, I think.
He did.
I think so. It got cancelled really quick. Something on Netflix.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like network TV or whatever. Yeah.
That's not right. I really forget. But it's just a mess. Pretty much since he came out of prison, it's like
yeah, boy. I think to me at the end of the day, this is like the biggest drawback to the movie. This is like the biggest flaw to it, is that you have somebody like him who knows action, who knows how to act, and he is just phoning it in, man. Just
all right. The movie I was trying to remember was Art of War. He did that. I mean,
look, around that time, yes. Around that time, that's when it started to go downhill. Can I remember watching Art of War?
Pretty much everything. Pretty much everything after him coming out of prison, which was 2013, I think.
I think so, yeah.
He did Expendables, it kind of sucked.
Yeah,
the Player, that's the show.
Okay, I remember hating Art of War, by the way. I hated Art of War.
The TV series.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the TV series is The Player. That is the show I was trying to remember.
Okay.
And then, well, he did Chirac, he wasn't that. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he was good in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's alright in that. I find he should. That's what I'm saying. He should do like 8-4 films, or try to get something where he not overly kill as an actor, and he not in that weird space like say Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson's a weird tragic figure now.
Oh,
so you can't really put him. He can't put himself there necessarily. But he's a person that could find himself in a good spot, and something is just one of the Blumhouse films or something now.
Yeah.
But he don't he ain't gonna be a big superstar anymore. I can't see him like look unless he gets a miracle Hail Mary play and somehow figure out a way to get back into the Blade franchise and Marvel could give him a check. Cool. That I don't think happening.
Yeah, I don't know, because to me personally, I think he's just too old. I mean, he still has the look,
No, what I could do, like, what our people wanted to see is like, okay, so will all the Marvel TV stuff coming out being decent, and we're going to review one of those soon. They could bring back Blade now.
Yeah.
But not him, but it could be like a younger Blade, some shit now, something.
Okay. That's actually cool, like a new Blade. So
yeah,
and
it's just
there,
we
have another Daywalker that he's training though.
Something, right? And then put another. Yeah, he could be the new Whistler. Do something with that. And
that's actually a great idea, though.
Right, and then what I was thinking is that it could be on Netflix and have it be in the same vein as these Defenders films now. So because Punisher coming out, they could bring out Ghost Rider. They could do Ghost Rider on Agents of Shield, but again, we're not sure if that's the same universe. Because they kind of separate over time, whatever.
Right.
Point is, they could do stuff with him. He's not truly done as an actor, in my opinion. It's just, he burned too much bridges now.
Yeah, for real.
And then he broke. So
So I understand he's desperate, but all I have to just say, just in closing, like I like my little Saturday night movies, those little disposable films, those little action films you watch when you have nothing to do. And this could have been one. This actually could have been one if it just knew what it was trying to be. I would have liked it if it was just this normal action film, forgettable, disposable, but still fun. But because they try to merge sci-fi and horror and it just didn't work at all, it just came out too bland and boring and just forgettable for me. So yeah, if you see this, if you really insist on seeing it, rent it. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend that you see this movie at all. There's better shows that you can watch out there. Go back and watch Blade or New Jack City or even More Better Blues or something. But skip this movie at all costs.
Sad.
Yeah, real sad. Alright, so moving forward though, I haven't seen this film that we're going to talk about now, The Dark Tower. So, because I've been hearing bad things about it though, unfortunately. I'm hearing a lot of fans of the book saying that they just rush things, it's not how it was, and it's Hollywood doing Hollywoodness
right,
again.
So
but fill me in now.
Okay, so again, right, so I was talking earlier that how I didn't hate this anywhere near as much as other people. It is as bad as people say it is, but I didn't personally hate it as much. I don't know if it's because I was kind of just depressed for the week and coming out of the house was a good thing for me. So I enjoy anything watching at the time.
Oh, but I know that feeling.
Right, yeah. And the whole thing with I was never a big Stephen King fan. Not really.
Oh, what? Right. Okay, I thought everybody
really
in the world who does read books love.
Stephen King, exactly. He's an author let's be clear. He's an author of an immense amount of respect, but only because of the work ethic and the amount of content he puts out. But I was never in terms of ideas. He's never a person that really wowed me over as much as say other authors I can say off the top of my head that I'll enjoy. Like a Neil Stephenson or something along those lines.
Okay, what was the problem? It's just all about just scaring and not making you think that much. It's just scary,
exactly. And people say, after the car accident he wasn't really as good. But to me, any of his ideas was like, it's just this thing, and it's in somewhere in Maine, and I just never really roped me into his world. And again, my style, my stuff that has wowed me in is more a good, conscientious world building sci-fi,
right?
And he didn't really do that for me, But Dark Tower was one of those that was okay in that sense because it's supposed to be the kind of the Stephen King cinematic universe approach to telling storytelling, right? Because it links stuff together. It links The Shining.
Yes, it is.
Right? It links The Mist. It links all of that's supposed to be that. Is a multiverse,
right? And
it's the Stephen King multiverse. That's what it is. That's essentially what the Dark Tower franchise. So I never read out the whole Dark Tower. I only read one of the books. I can't remember which one. My aunt bought it for me for my birthday. About 10 to 15 years ago. I barely remember. But I remember reading it and kind of liking it. It was like, all right, this is a cool idea. Multiverse stuff is always cool when you do it right anyway. Especially once you give it a good mechanism. And this movie starts with that in a decent sense.
Right.
The first half of this is not that bad. Genuinely not that bad. Not me having more fun than I should have. That is a big factor. But it was okay. It was fine. It was building the world quite well. Yeah, it was falling flat, but much like another movie that I'll say that the first two acts was really good, and then the third act is just shit in the bed, which is Marsha Montana movie. It's like that. Yes.
Wow.
The movie just takes an insane dip into crap fest. within that third act. And even though the gunslinging stuff was kind of cool, because remember I was talking about that as an idea I wanted to do. This movie does it quite well. It doesn't do it as fast or as awesome as I would have liked to seen it, but it's still okay. Gunslinging stuff wasn't bad, and it wasn't half bad in terms of what they wanted to do with it.
Okay.
So the world building, so the story.
Yes, the story.
This kid, okay, my brain done slip already of who the kid is, but it's this kid who's a special kid. Special, you have a link into he's like every world has a special kid now.
Right.
And the Dark Tower, they use the kid as a reference point, and the Dark Tower is to use the child to basically crush the Dark Tower. The Dark Tower, what it does is that it separates the world, and those same monsters that you saw in the mist.
Yes.
I think it's those monsters.
Oh, okay.
I think so, right? Because you had to understand the whole mythos of Stephen King that built up there. But it's those demons essentially, and it's to protect the rest of all the multiverses from these monsters spilling out. It's just these hell monsters that spill out and will essentially kill everything. And Matthew McConaughey's character, he's the man in black. He's this guy who's like his plan is to do that, is to set up this world. I don't know the man in black character enough to say why exactly he's doing this, but it's one of those like existential Lovecraftian kind of bullshit things. And then he had to get the kid have to move around, and then he meet up by accident because of the whole not time, but the dimension hopping stuff. He ended up meeting the gunslinger,
right,
played by
Idris Elba.
Luther,
everyone's favorite.
your boy Luther, right?
Your boy Luther.
Yeah, and basically he's the gunslinger's tasked with taking out, essentially stopping the man in black and taking out the man in black and stopping his plan. And I said it's just a really straightforward story of this special kid helping out the gunslinger kill Matthew McConaughey. Nothing special about the world. Like, if you care to learn about that shit, you could go and read it up. Maybe the movie does a really poor job of setting that up, in my opinion. So you have to like piece together, and only because of your sheer genre savviness as a nerd, and if you're aware of how genres work and this kind of stuff does work, you'll kind of piece together what's going on.
Right.
And it's really cliched stuff. But it's Stephen King. It's stuff that come out too late now. It's kind of like the John Carter problem, right? Where everybody copy from it. So when you come with it now, it's like, well, you're not bringing nothing new to the table because everybody rip off from you now.
Yeah, it's a too late kind of thing.
Kind of too late, right? Yeah. And it's the same thing with Stephen King. Is that. So you get that feeling going throughout. And then the actual gunslinging thing was, again, okay, but not that brilliant. So it's just the gunslingers, his world, and his world is where Matthew McConaughey going to and fro to basically do his thing, to get the tower. And it's a light in the sky villain moment. It's like it's totally a laser beam going in the sky and they're going to kill everything.
Well,
That's what they have to stop.
Typical Hollywood stuff.
Right, and it was so bland and forgettable. And it's like, it's solid world building, kind of, but because it's so by the numbers.
Uninspired, I was going to say uninspired.
Totally uninspired, and it's like, wow, this just fall completely flat. It have really nothing to talk about, unfortunately, because of how blatant and bland it is. Go see it. Like, you might have fun, maybe. But if you're a big fan of the books, I can't see how you could get into this too. Because it's like, they ain't doing anything with this.
Right. Now, one thing that I heard, I was actually surprised by this. I didn't even check up on the runtime. I didn't even know that the movie was so short though, like roughly an hour and a half. Right?
That's okay. So here I get a vibe. I get a feeling in the studio tell themselves, look, this taking way too fucking long. Nobody gonna see this if this runtime like this. So they probably slice it up in the edit.
Right. So that way you could get more
that's
screen
why
times.
That's why
right.
the movie take that instant drop.
Yeah.
Quality, because it's like nothing led to that finale in that logical way. No. It just jumped to that point. Because again, that like logically didn't follow. Like it was building up, and then they said, all right, we need to cut at least 20 minutes from this. So it really feel like that 20 minutes missing somewhere now.
Yeah.
So look, it might have a director's cut somewhere that'll actually be better. And I always hope
it.
I know, but I always hope for movies like that. Every time I see a movie that like in a mess like this, you always hope it have a director's cut. The movie that was from earlier, I think it's this year or last year, that was
Oh well, we want to work for Go See Shell, and it's out on Blu-ray on home media.
But like a film, the hand film. I can't forget what it is. With the worms, with the eels.
What was that? It's a horror film, right?
Cure for Wellness.
Oh, Okay, right. I haven't seen that yet, but
right,
you said there should be a director's cut for that because that movie is long.
You hope, eh?
Okay.
You hope it have a director's cut. I don't think it have one. I have no idea. I have to look it up to see. I haven't looked up to see if the Blu-ray out or anything. More than likely out.
Long though. So that was asking if it needs to have a director's cut.
That's the thing, it does, because the edit was a mess. But whatever.
Okay.
This was a really short film, but you get the feeling it needed like a 20 minutes. So that's, make that connective tissue now.
Right.
And that is how it felt for me. I want, if I was in a different mood, I'd have really fucking hate this probably. But because I was in a generally up, mood to pick me up, and I was like, I enjoyed, like, that whole day was just a me day anyway. I just enjoyed myself, ate some great food, ate some great, like it had Indian food. I just treated myself for the day, had some ice cream, and, hang out with some friends, had beers, talk shit, enjoy myself, real had fun that day. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll just, just my general get out of work. And so when seeing the movie, I was like, yeah, I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's
just empty fun, and it was like a perfect popcorn summer blockbuster in that sense.
Mm-hmm. But nothing that would stay with you, and long after this year.
To come out like a slight hypocrite here, I was always been in the camp of you should never turn off your brain for a film kind of person. But yeah, there's a turn off your brain kind of movie. Sorry. Kind of hard. Ranking, rating, quick rating. Yeah, I have to give this a CC8. Straight CC8. That's it. Don't waste your time, spending too much money on this.
I don't intend to.
Yeah, go with your friends. Make sure you have a good day. Make sure you're in a good mood, or at least a mood to pick you up.
Yeah, if you're going pissed off, you'll walk out pissed off.
Yeah, don't go with that bullshit. And yeah, that's it. It's just forgettable. I don't hate it, but yeah, it's far from lovable. Yeah, the critics, I can understand why the critics tear this one a new asshole. Yeah. They kind of deserve that, but I had fun with it, and that is pretty much it. I'll say the first half of it isn't that bad, but that it just drops off like a asymptotic, failure at that second.
Right. Just last thing I'll ask about that. So you think this show should have just been a series instead of just being this theatrical movie? Yes, the thing,
I keep hearing about that, but I because I'm not following the news too closely, I don't know. But if they do the Stargate thing, because that's what this could totally be. Right. This could totally, like, if you sit down with some good writers, they could totally build from the material. Because look, again, Stephen King's world building isn't bad. I'm not a lover of Stephen King, but he's still okay world building, right? But if a good bunch of people, you could do the Stargate thing where the movie is mediocre, but the series is like amazing and awesome and really well done. Well, at least for me, I was a big fan of Stargate SG-1. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could do that. If they do something along those lines, yeah, I could totally see them building a series from this. Right? Obviously, I doubt they'll get Elba or McConaughey for it, but you could just.
Definitely not McConaughey.
Right, and both of those two actors way too big for the material.
He's too big for that. Sorry.
But yeah, I could see something like that where you sit down and you just say, "All right, we dimension hopping," and you make it work now. You just slap it on Netflix or Sci-Fi for a run, and that is it. You just do 2 seasons.
I think that'd be good for Sci-Fi actually, not so much Netflix, but.
Right, whatever. But the point is, you put it on. You do some decent material with it. And you could because it's okay world building. It's not the worst idea. You can't go wrong with multiverse stuff, right? It's an easy run.
Yeah.
With your multiverse stuff, because the whole point of multiverse is to explore what if scenarios and what you could do, what not, right? Flash doing a good job with it. Uh-huh. Everybody doing the multiverse thing now, right? Anybody who have any kind of sci-fi chops or worth this salt in science fiction could write decent multiverse stuff, right? Make it work.
Right.
And yeah, so that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the show that I saw, well, actually yesterday at the time of this recording,
right,
was Annabelle Creation.
Yeah.
Which
I chose Dark Power over Annabelle Creation, which I shouldn't have done, but I had to pick one.
Somebody had to see this, so if it wasn't
no, because I was even though I was seeing a good score, and well, we might have to talk about this. I heard some real shenanigans went down with Annabelle Creation in terms of the ratings. I heard it was like what Konami did with Metal Gear 5 now, where they like to. I heard that what it was, but I have no clear verification of this. Where you invite a bunch of critics who would kind of like this material anyway, and then you entertain them. You pamper them, real pamper them, and then you watch the movie, and then you ask for your rating. So they more likely will give a positive rating. Like on top of that, you real pamper them and make it a big deal.
Oh.
So you see that chicanery, that is some fuckery. And I heard that was. So I heard So, and then I really hated the last Annabelle. That was like a colossal waste of my fucking time.
I'll get to that.
So I skip it now. So you give your run.
All right. So so we'll start off with that Annabelle movie from 2014. So yes, folks, this is actually the prequel to that prequel, right. Annabelle, which is a prequel to, of course, 2013's The Conjuring, which was one of my favorite horror movies of that year. Yeah. So I was actually surprised that we were getting this prequel with this Annabelle thing, because I mean, it was there at the very end of the movie. You know, they had that cut to black at the very end. It was like, oh, you know, that was like, that doll, wow, you know what I mean? And then we got the movie. But here's the thing, I skipped out on that movie at the time it came out. I heard real bad things about it. But
yeah, no, I saw it.
But preparing myself for creation, of course I had to go back and watch Annabelle. And that movie sucked.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
And here's where it sucked for me. You have one question to answer, right?
Yeah.
How do you make a solid horror film based on a doll that does not do anything except just be motionless and look creepy?
Right.
And they feel because they're not miserably
because
in that.
They're not going to do the Chucky thing.
No, they can't.
They can't do that, right?
They can't do that. That's child's play. That's Puppet Master, whatever.
Right. They're not going to do that with Annabelle. So let's see what they're going to do.
It's too smart. James Wan and the people behind this film, they're smarter than that, right? They're not going to do that. And what I saw there was just cheap scares.
Yeah,
bland characters. That couple, I hated that couple. I hated the husband for how cool and calm and collective he was. He's like, honey, are you okay? Honey, are you okay? I'm coming home from work. I'm coming. And she just reacting to things late.
You're talking about the last Annabelle, right?
The last Annabelle.
Yeah,
finding the doll, and then they get rid of the doll, and then they move, and then the doll show up as like, we got rid of it. And
nonsense.
they just put it back. You know what I mean? Nothing about that work. And then there was only one scene that worked that was actually disturbing. That was when this girl who killed her parents, the neighbors of the protagonist of Annabelle, right? Yeah. That murder that took place, and then they just came into the protagonist's house and started tormenting them. That was genuinely disturbing. Everything after that didn't make any sense. And then they wasted this actress, Alfre Woodard's character, great African American actress. What they do to her at the very end of that movie was so laughable. I was just like, you already did that? You already did that? Come on. And then at the very end, for those who haven't seen it, you have Annabelle looking creepy as hell with this little digging on her cheek. And she's in this pawn shop, and then this woman comes like, oh, it's an Annabelle doll. I've always wanted that. Oh, they're so rare. And takes it up. This creepy looking doll. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest flaw about that movie. And that's the thing that people like to make fun of. You have this scary looking doll here. Why are you going to keep it? Right. Why? You know what I mean? Anyway, so Annabelle, the first one from 2014, was a colossal failure. I hated it. So going into Annabelle creation, I was like, well, of course, this movie have to be better than Annabelle, right? And this is coming off of Conjuring 2, which personally I didn't love as much as I wanted to. I think it's a solid horror film, but to me it kind of suffered from the whole bigger is better question mark thing, where you have a bigger budget, so you basically have the freedom to do whatever more you want to, but it pretty much is the same film. It's just the location has changed. Yeah. And some of the CG didn't really work, because actually we watched Conjuring 2 actually in preparation to watch Annabelle Creation. Some of the CG didn't work, like especially for the Crooked Man. I felt that the Crooked Man VFX didn't really look all that convincing to me, but there were some generally good scares in it, just not as much as as the first one. But Annabelle Creation, just again to story. It's set roughly in the 50s, I believe it is. So we get to see the guy who actually created the Annabelle doll in the first place. He's this toy maker. He creates dolls and stuff, and he, that's his trade, right? So he sells these dolls for a living, right? He has a wife and a daughter. They're very God-fearing as well. And what happens is that there's this serious accident that takes the life of the daughter. And because of that, well, the mother was affected as well too, so she is now bedridden. She stays in the house as well too. Both of them live in the house as well, The father pretty much has changed. I mean, he's not the lively guy that he was before, on account of what's going on with his wife, and of course with the death of his daughter. And he pretty much kind of just shut down on, just making these dolls in the first place, right?
Right. Right.
So what he does now, well, he decides to rent out his house as an orphanage, right, for these orphan girls. So this bus shows up at their place one day. This young nun, well, this Latina nun, you should say. When I say young,
the same nun from the Annabelle, the same, and there was supposed to do a spin-off with her.
No, well, all right. From what I remember, I don't think it's the same. It's the same person. I don't think it is. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's her. It's somebody else, right? So they bring these girls along, and they're roughly like pre-teen to about teens. So like about 2 or 3 of them are like are roughly like 15 or 16 or whatever. But the two main girls that we focus on, they're like best friends. We actually it's established very early on that they're like the best friends ever. Are these two little girls, right? One of them actually was in this movie that I heard actually great things about, Ouija 2. I heard that was actually a more superior sequel to the first Ouija, which apparently sucked. I didn't see either one. But I heard that she had a standout performance in it. She was like probably the creepiest person in that whole movie. So she is there, and she is friends to this girl who is a polio survivor. So she walks on crutches and stuff like that. And when they go into this house, there's this like one of those sliding chairs actually that's like connected to the staircase. So it goes up. You have to buckle the seatbelt, and then it goes up and down. There's this little switch for it to happen. So it's good for her to to navigate going up and down the stairs and whatnot. But those two girls in particular, they're just the best of friends. They even have their own doll, and it's like they wouldn't leave each other. It's like if one of them is adopted, you have to make sure that the other friend is adopted along with them as well too. And I mean, it's cute, it's nice, it's girl stuff, right? But while these girls are getting used to this house, and by the way, there is this excellent tracking shot where we are seeing like all the different rooms inside the house. It's like just the camera just following these girls as they're just seeing everything. It's really spectacularly done. So later on, they started, as you would expect from, because this actually falls within the haunted house genre. Of course, weird stuff takes place. For one thing, and I'll talk about this in a bit, the first thing that the first red flag for me was how the father was moving, because he was usually quiet, he didn't talk much, but he always had this way of just like staring at these girls, and not in a pedophilia kind of way, but almost like he had ulterior motives for bringing in these girls in the first place. And then, of course, there's the room, because I mean, it plays along certain conventions in the haunted house subgenre. So of course, there's this room, or in this case, two rooms that you're not supposed to go into. The first one is where the wife is there bedridden. The second one, of course, is where the Annabelle doll is, and that particular Annabelle doll was the doll that the guy's daughter had. That was her doll before she died, basically. So in that room is just all of her playthings, basically. But they're just warned from the beginning, don't go into that room. So of course, as you would expect in these movies, girl on crutches actually is tempted, if you will, to go into that particular room.
Right.
And there she sees Annabelle, and then it's just all these dark, crazy stuff happening, all these jump scares, all these things that happen at night, and a few scenes that I was surprised actually took place at day. And I'll just jump into the review right here. One thing that really, like, you see how I said before how the first one failed because you had a simple question to answer. How do you make a film sorry sorry about that. How do you make a film about a motionless doll frightening? And I felt that with Annabelle Creation, they did that very, very, very well. They took out the whole weird notion for the first film where the blood from someone's body has to go into the doll's eye, and is supposed to unleash this portal where demons come out and all these things. They kind of just throw all that aside and just essentially this doll that is, but it's still a vessel for demons, right? But it's just that there is a demon in this house already, and it's just that the doll is just there pretty much like this signpost, if you will, like, yes, there's dark things going on, and this is where it all stems from. But it's not like, it's not like Child's Play where this thing kind of gets up and walks and stabs people and stuff. But at the same time, not everything kind of revolves around the doll itself. So it's this kind of weird balance that they do here, but I felt it worked perfectly, you know. And where I felt it worked too is because even though the doll itself is not doing anything, there are moments where you see this doll and it is still incredibly creepy.
Right.
Gone are these dumb daylight scenes that we got in the first Annabelle movie, where yes, the doll looks creepy, but it's daylight. It's not convincing me that I'm supposed to be scared here. Here you have these great shots, these nighttime shots, great lighting as well too. By the way, I have to praise the lighting in this film, for just setting the tone and the mood of the film. Yes, so there's these great night shots of where you see the doll inside that room. There's this great little bit as well too, where that same girl on crutches is opening the door and she sees the door and then she closes the door and then the door opens and then that kind of stuff you've seen it before. But the way how they do it was pretty cool as well too, because once again, it's this doll that doesn't do anything, but still the presence of it, still evokes the sense of terror. The performances I thought were solid throughout. Well, for the most part, they were solid. What I would say is there were a couple of characters, was a couple of the girls who, yeah, I swear, you see them in the beginning, and then you would just forget about it, and then it's like, oh yeah, they were there too, right? I forgot about them, right? Because they didn't really have anything to do really. Because the film kind of centers on probably like 4 or 5 of those girls now.
Yeah.
But the main two being, of course, the girl on crutches and her best friend, right? And even have these great little horrific set pieces involving her as well too, because yes, the demon that is essentially attacking these people, yeah boy, why they had to attack the one who have the crutches though for? Like, that's like real assholeness too. I mean, come on, you're gonna take the most advantage or the weakest quote unquote individual. Like, come on, man, you don't do that, right?
Right.
But they do have these great little moments with that. Especially there's this one scene where they use that same that chair that I mentioned before, quite effectively as well. I thought that the musical score was great as well. The cinematography was excellent. The director of this film, David Sandberg, he is the guy who gave us last year's surprise Lights Out,
right,
which I honestly enjoyed. And it's like why I enjoyed it as well. It's one of those shows that, yes, the premise is simple, and of course it's based off of his still creepy as hell short film of the same name. But still, what he was able to do in terms of that short runtime, how he was able to build tension and create all these scares now. And like when I saw it with a packed audience, everybody was just on board. They were laughing, they were cheering, and all that kind of stuff. When I saw Creation, I saw it like roughly after 4, around 5 o'clock. So there was not much people there, but as you would expect with watching a horror, yes, people were laughing and people were giggling and people were like, don't open the door, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I got all that. And for some reason, it didn't get to my nerves because it was not a packed audience. I imagine I would have just been like, if everybody was bawling and anything, I would have just been like, oh gosh, I'll hush up now, you know what I mean? But still, it wasn't just complete wall-to-wall scares and terror. There were moments where, the tension and the drama was building, and I thought that those moments worked very, very good as well. You really got to understand the father as well too, because like I said, at first you're thinking he has some kind of creepy ideas with the kids, but actually no, it's something even more deeper than that. And when you really understand why this demon exists inside the house, it kind of makes sense in terms of course, the trauma that you would expect the father and mother to be experiencing because the child died so viciously,
Yeah.
And yes, it has something to do with the Annabelle doll. Alright, so a couple of gripes that I had with the film. First of all, sorry. First of all, it did feel conventional at times because yes, it's a haunted house thing, so the usual tropes that you would expect, the door that refuses to close, that dark hallway where you roll a ball and then the ball rolls back, those things you've seen before, not just in other horror films but also like in the Conjuring movies. You've seen these before. But then again, because of what the first film did, which was really a throwback to like old school horror movies, not 80s gore films, but really like, these 60s, 70s, well, more particularly the 70s horror movies because of the setting at the time. So this film was more like those old, I guess, kind of 50s to 60s kind of haunted house kind of movies.
Yeah.
So if you've seen these things before, you kind of know what's going to happen. And unfortunately, because of that, I came out of it expecting to be scared a little bit more. Like I walked out of it like, I mean, yeah, I didn't jump. I mean, my toes curl a bit. Like every time there's these jump scares, my toes tend to curl now. That's a little thing with me. But I didn't really walk out of it feeling like my heart was racing. I was just genuinely scared, I walked out of it really thoroughly enjoying the film, but I just felt that I wish I could have. I wish that I was scared. Like there was more scares to it actually. And the second thing is and this is something that unfortunately you kind of come to expect in movies such as this. Yeah, characters do dumb shit.
Yeah,
they do really really dumb shit. There's one scene where something terrible happens, really bad, and the superior at the time, who is the nun at this particular sequence, basically just tells the kids, all right, just go back inside and go and sleep, go in your beds. After they see this one terrible thing happens, it's like, you know what, just go and sleep now. You know what I mean? Like there are moments where you will be like mentally crying out to the screen like, why don't just leave? You're seeing what's going on. Why are you still in this house? Why? But they still stay. They still come up with excuses why they should stay. And when you see them, like, you understand the genre, but now you can't help but watching and be like, they're all stupid, but oh gosh, are they gonna stay after this thing happened? Come on, man, really? It's just dumb, you know what I mean? But apart from all that though, I still enjoyed it way more than I expected. I wouldn't say it's the best horror movie I have seen all year. I kind of want to leave that spot open for this movie that is actually coming out next month, and I'm glad that I saw the trailer on big screen before Annabelle Creation came out, because that tells me that we should be getting this next month. Mother, from Darren Aronofsky.
Right. I was supposed to mention that in my list of what I want to see. I hope that comes down.
Yeah, but they showed the first trailer, which was just practically silence. A black screen and just the text. That worked. The second trailer that came out, I love that trailer. I love the music in it.
Yeah.
So creepy. And I just like the fact that I have no clue what's going on. I don't know what Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem doing, what Ed Harris doing. I don't know. But I just love that. I want to see that shit.
And Aronofsky is much more hit than miss. I'll say if anything was a miss was probably the Noah.
Although I liked Noah for what it did.
I was enjoyed for what it did. But I really excited to see what he gonna do with the material.
Yeah. So for me, so that for me, I hoping will be like my favorite horror of 2017. So because like last year, my favorite was The Witch, and the other two horror films that I saw on big screen were Lights Out and Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that Annabelle Creation is the best horror movie of the year, but I would say it is the best prequel to a prequel that I have seen thus far. And when you think about it, a prequel to a prequel, you kind of think, oh well, this is just a recipe for disaster, right? But it actually worked, and I think really what makes it work, the icing on the cake though, well, the real reason why this whole thing works is the director, because this guy, just like James Wan, who helmed the two Conjuring films. This guy knows horror. He knows how to build tension. He knows how to create these scares, and he knows how to get the audience to be invested in what's going on. So he makes these type of movies that will get audiences to be like, don't open the door, and those kind of things. Like, he wants the viewer to have fun while watching this movie. And for the most part, you will enjoy yourself watching this film. You won't walk out of it like, oh my god, I can't look at dolls the same way again. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still I'm emotionless doll. Which reminds me, they do tie in at the very end. They do tie in the events of the first film at the end of Annabelle creation. I thought that was just brilliant. Like, yes, I hate the first Annabelle movie, but the way how they tied that in was just like, yeah, I love that. I just give a little two clap. I was like, yeah, that was a stroke of genius. I love that. And of course, they have this nice little scene, with the credits and stuff, where of course you focus on the doll and you're wondering, is it gonna move or is it not gonna move? I'm not gonna see what happens, but you'll see for yourself. But to me, what they did there, I thought was like, oh, I like that. That was clever, because in the last film, they did that same thing and then they had the doll, but it was similar to how the first Conjuring movie ended, where nothing happened. They just cut the black and I'm supposed to be scared because I heard a doom, And I'll just say this thing inclusive before I get to ratings. If you're the type of person who don't like jump scares, you probably won't like this movie that much. I mean, there's not an overabundance of jump scares, but they are there because, I mean, it's a modern horror film and it's in the same Conjuring universe, so I guess you could argue that you have to have the same style of tent and, these jump scares and that kind of stuff. You can expect it. 3 movies in already, so yeah, I guess you have to have it in this film here. And oftentimes it work, but there are a few times where it's like, really, you don't need to do that there. Nothing really happened there. It was just there to make me jump, but for no reason really, right? But apart from all that, I thoroughly enjoyed this. We more than expected, so I will give this a decent 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not the best scariest horror movie out there. And okay, I'm sorry, Annabelle, still itself, the doll itself is not generally scary. I mean, just looking at it, like, just visually, it looks scary, but nothing about it screams, okay, anytime I see that, I just gonna, like, hide underneath the bed sheets or whatever. But the way how they incorporated that character into the scares, I thought worked. I think this was like the best method in terms of creating scares out of this whole doll thing to begin with. And it's a vast improvement over the last film, where it was all reliant on the doll. It's all about, ooh, look how scary the doll is, but the doll isn't doing anything. It's demons behind it, right? And I felt that here in creation it actually worked. The story itself is well told and whatnot, and I really think it works well in terms of creating this whole Conjuring universe. And I'll just say this thing in conclusion. I personally am not keen on this whole Conjuring universe thing. Like, I know horror films had to have the franchise. I get that. But
listen, it crossed $1 billion, yeah, so
okay, yeah, I know, but but when I hear talks about, oh, you're gonna take the nun character from Conjuring 2 and make a spin-off of that, that's when I'll be like, really, guys? Yeah. Come on.
Make money?
I know, it's supposed to make money, but I don't need a nun spin-off, the nun or whatever it is. We don't need that. Or whatever the name of the nun is. I can't remember from Conjuring 2. But yeah, if you like horror films, especially if you like the Conjuring movies and you just detested Annabelle so much, then you would enjoy this movie a lot. If you are one of the few that actually think Annabelle was so scary, then you probably will find this one to be even more scary, and that's actually a good thing. But by all means, yeah, check it out, man. You'll have fun with it.
Right.
All right. Cool. So finally, we'll jump from the big screen to the small screen. Yes, man. Now we're finally going to talk about the long-awaited Marvel's The Defenders.
Yeah. So this week I wanted to talk about Batman and Harley Quinn, but you wanted to put it out for next week.
Yeah. I personally want to see it for myself. I want to see where they actually, or how they actually should.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. So yeah, we'll just jump to Defenders. I suppose that's the only thing to reference.
Right. So you just want to kind of just jump into what the Defenders is about. I know there's lots of characters and stuff, but
right. So basically, it's the culmination of the 4 Marvel Netflix shows. Mm-hmm. This is Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones. They have been, well, it's 5 of these seasons at this point. 2 seasons of Daredevil, introducing the Punisher, Jessica Jones featuring Luke Cage,
and Luke Cage introducing Misty Knight. Who we do see.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And then Iron Fist and Jessica Jones, and all of it featuring Claire Temple.
Yes, of course.
She finds herself in all the material, Link and everything.
Yeah, why?
Somebody make a great joke with that, just show it the 4 defenders, the 3 of the defenders, and then Claire Temple cutting out Iron Fist. It was like, geez, because, when you watch what this is about, I kind of see where they're coming from.
Right.
Anyway, so basically it's the main villains from Iron Fist and Daredevil, the Hand is back.
Yes.
Basically, it's leaders of the Hand this time. And
the 5 fingers of the hand. That's what they call
5 fingers. Right. So what do the 5 fingers say to the face of New York? Slap. Basically, they follow from a plot point that was introduced in Daredevil.
Yes.
With a big, deep hole. You got to find out what that hole about.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they link to the events of Iron Fist and why he fight in the Hand as well.
Of course. That whole thing with his the Temple of Kunlun.
Yeah, the city of Kunlun.
Yeah, city of Kunlun, sorry.
Right,
I keep
and
thinking of it as like a temple.
Basically, it's they come up with this event, something along the lines of an earthquake, and all just basically to figure out a way to get all 4 defenders to come back together. To come together.
That come back together.
Come together and deal with this threat. And they do I think they do it really, really well. So Jessica Jones had a reason, Luke Cage had his reason. Well, Iron Fist and Daredevil had their reason, and they link it together quite well.
Yes.
And that's it. That's the 4 of them have to come and take down the Hand, and the Hand has a plan involving...
the Hand has a plan.
Yeah, the Hand has a plan involving a fist.
Yes, a particular glowy fist.
And they have to do something to perpetuate the power in the world. Bad guy is gonna bad guy.
Yeah.
And that's the story.
I think I should mention a particular character resurfaces, if you will.
You're right.
Elektra returns.
Yes.
Once again played by Elodie Young, I believe that's how you pronounce her name.
And right, so that's pretty much it. So let's get you want to get the bad out of the way first or the good out of the way first?
Well, let me just talk about the good. Well, you start off and I'll jump in.
Let's talk about the good. The good. Some of the chemistry is quite good. In fact, I like how they do the plotting at least of how they get them together. So why Jessica Jones is getting to point A to point B. Why it is that Jessica Jones meets up with this character? Why Luke Cage meets up with that character? How come they link to each other? How come Danny meeting with this person? And they link all 4 of them very, very well, and the reasons of why all 4 of them together works quite well in my opinion.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah. It's still like these characters. I'm still enjoying almost all of these characters, probably with the exception of Danny Rand.
Yeah, of course. Everybody hates Danny
It's not I hate this man, but Jed, he's really, really badly written. Is still in this.
We'll argue about that a little bit because I felt personally that they actually gave his character a little bit more depth, a little bit more purpose, a little bit more reason to be in this thing. Because I know, because of the reception of Iron Fist and how it turned out. Because I actually watched Iron Fist. I didn't binge it like you. I actually took my time and watched it.
Yeah.
And what I did is I usually watch it at night now, so it helps to lull me into sleep because it's so dull.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. And I felt that his character was just kind of one note. It was like, okay, I am the immortal Iron Fist. I must do this. But here, because he has to work with other people now and because of this threat, he learns that he has to work together. He has to be a team player. But at the same time, because of what happened at the end of Iron Fist, and because of the events shaping up here with the Hand, he feels like he has this responsibility now, and it's almost like if nobody's listening to him. So him in this kind of teen angst kind of way is kind of reacting to it like that. But I felt here, if this is what you were talking about with bad, but I felt here it kind of made sense because of the event. You kind of understand where he was coming from, Yes, he did come off a little bit brash at times. I understand that, but I kind of say that's his character, so hate it or love it. But like I said, here he really did feel like there was a purpose in him, not just because the Hand, spoiler alert, wants him, but because of just his role in this whole thing. You know what I mean? That so I felt there was a little improvement on his character, but of course, like everybody else, I wouldn't say he is the best defender of the whole group.
Well, okay, so the character, again, let's continue with the good.
Yeah.
The plot itself, again, not that bad. I actually like what they do with it. Is like they had to get the Hand together anyway. They don't have any problems with all of that. I like the, they do this kind of weird color correction character moments. So Luke Cage always is a yellow scene, Jessica Jones purple, Daredevil red, and Danny's like this kind of bluish kind of thing they're going with. Green sometimes.
Yeah, green.
It's bluish green.
Which reminds me, sorry to stop you there. I loved, the intro actually grew on me. The
intro I liked as well. Yeah.
It started to grow on me, and I love the way how not just they utilize the colors that you just mentioned here for each character, but also the scope of the city itself. It's almost like you're watching like this geographical map, and almost like these characters are so larger, like they're like constellations now. So the way how they design on screen, I thought was amazing, and just the colors there, it grew on me, like I say. But I just love this particular opening to the show. I felt it.
I actually really like the opening as well.
And the music wasn't half bad. It didn't
cool.
stick out to me as much.
I like how they do it.
I like the music overall.
Yeah. But the color correction is I like how they do the, not saying color correction, basically the color grading or whatever it is they use for every scene.
So like,
and how they had the transition.
Yes, like for example, like Jessica Jones also have these kind of dull muted colors.
And it's purple,
Luke Cage is always bright colors,
Yeah, well, it's warm. Luke Cage always warm. But how they do it? But you see it in the scenes as well.
Yeah.
You see it in the scenes as well. So when you're seeing them in frame, and then like who they're talking to, you'll see yellow in the background. You can tell that it had some logic to it.
Yeah, of course, some thought into the cinematography. Yeah. I
happen to like the dialogue. Dialogue is okay. It's very comic bookish. It works. But the delivery of that dialogue, my gosh. Dialogue not bad, but the delivery was pretty bad. That's the damn problem.
All right, there's a couple of scenes though that I could really that relate to what it is you're saying, right? So remember that one fight scene that takes place, I think is in episode 3, where they actually go and they have the big throwdown. So the defenders actually team up to fight these bad guys.
Yeah, right? This is when they come together for the first time.
Yeah, and Jessica Jones says something. I think she says "uh-oh" something like that. But the way how she said it was just so dead though, like "uh-oh."
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
I know she's cynical.
Again, we delving into the bad now.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like something that she'd say. And the way how she delivered it, no. That's not how you say it.
This was really goddamn unpolished. Like
the dialogue, right? Yeah.
Everything.
Okay, but talk to her. Yeah.
No. I'm just gonna run through the problem. Almost everything. Now I don't hate this. I actually prefer this to actually put it up about the same as Luke Cage, but better than Danny Rand. And
of course.
better than Danny Rand with stuff. Better than Iron Fist in my opinion. But a lot of it not bad. It's just it needed more polish. It needed way more polish, and it have a good plot, but they could have done more with this material, way more. I didn't hate it. I still had a lot of fun with it. I actually like the finale.
Me too.
I actually like the finale. It works. A lot of it works, but it does have so much unpolished moments in it. So much weak stuff in it in terms of like delivery. Sigourney Weaver is ultimately wasted. I like her character. I like the idea behind her character, but they could have done more with our material.
I would agree with you. One thing that well, just a little sidetrack there. One thing that I kind of liked about her character is that I think she said in an interview where she didn't want to play this ice queen. She didn't want to play this sniveling kind of villainous kind of character.
Right.
But I could understand from the dialogue, right, that you could tell that she has lived for like quite a few centuries or whatever, right?
No, they're right. She all from because you learn basically they do the full narrative at the hand.
Yes.
You get to see who they are, why they are, what they're doing. Basically they run the narrative of, well, they're the original. You see where the hand came from. They're from Kunlun. They were driven out. They basically using the powers of the monks for evil.
Yes.
And you learn what it was after at the end of the series. You learn what it is that they had to open because at the bottom of the tunnel, this deep tunnel digging, and you learn what it is. It's under this building under New York. Right. It's basically, well, I don't want to spoil it, but we could spoil it, I suppose. It's a dead dragon.
Yes.
The same dragon that was give Danny Rand his powers, and where Danny Rand gets powers from. You learn they were salvaging dragon parts, and you learn it had a lot of other dragons.
Right.
And I can't remember exactly what it is they do, but the dragon, I think it's the dragon to make the black material to make them continue being immortal. So that last black material that allowed Elektra to come back from the dead, they more or less ran out of it.
Right. Yes.
So
yes.
that's what they needed to. That's what they needed
survive.
To.
Yeah.
So essentially, live forever, because that's how they live forever.
Right.
They just bring back themselves from the dead. They die. They come back, and that's how they live forever.
Right.
Here's the thing. And it's not that it's bad. It's just too much of it fell flat.
Yeah.
But way too much of it fell flat.
Yeah, but just back to that character of Sigourney Weaver's character. Her character's name is Alexandra. One thing, I felt that her lines, like you said, kind of came off like comic bookish. The way how they talk a little grandiose. Which I don't mind.
Which I don't mind, because Luke Cage has some great lines. It just delivered really flatly. Yeah. The whole thing was just, it could have used more blocking. So where characters supposed to be, instead of characters, it's supposed to be more urgent and running, that's low energy now. And the way how they shoot it, it's like, oh yeah, but shoot it, have a little more energy, make the edit a little more exciting.
Exactly.
Especially
because she's subdued in the way how she acts. That's fine. Right. But there's no sense of urgency in what's going on. It's just And this is one thing that actually turned me off in terms of just the dialogue now, but it's specifically within the members of the hand themselves.
Right.
It's just that there were moments where they pretty much repeat the same things again and again. Yes, we have to go back to Kunlun. Yes, Elektra is this. Yes, we are that. We are this. We are that. There's even a few scenes where Alexandra's talking to Elektra, and you're feeling this kind of mother-daughter kind of thing. But there's moments where you see that they have the same kind of dialogue again and again. Yeah. It's like, yes, you are the black sky, and you are destined to do this, and you will do this, and we need the Iron Fist, and we hear these things again and again. Same thing with Madame Gao's character, where usually every time she's meeting with the other members of the group, of the hand, she's pretty much repeating the same stuff. Yeah. We need to do this. We need to go back here. This is this. We need we need Iron Fist. There's no need for us to be hearing these things again. We get it. Even though we could argue, oh well, it was just an episode ago they mentioned it. Oh gosh, nearly 9 out of 10 people go to binge this damn thing anyway. So it's not like, oh well, back in episode 4 they mentioned this. So in case you forgot, let's repeat it again. There's no need for that. It just felt too time consuming for me, just in particular. But continue.
No, as I said, my big problem is I actually like this, but you see, that's the thing. Everything just fell flat. It needed more spectacle. They needed to punch it up. A lot of people making the joke that they was kind of sleeping through it. I have to admit, a couple of those episodes had me down, because it was pulling me. The first 4 episodes had me hooked, and then I don't know, 6 and 7 was just dull, Dread. Holy shit! Until 7, until the last half hour of 7, I was like, okay, they started to pick up what's going on, and all right, they're finally going to get to the ending. The ending was solid.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't have a problem with the ending. It was solid.
And similar to a particular scene that I loved in Luke Cage, there's a Wu-Tang song that plays. It's
awesome.
Once again from the debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chamber.
Yeah,
when I heard that, I was like, yes, I love in this scene. I love in this fight scene. I'm loving it. But this one thing I just want to mention too, as in terms of positives and kind of negatives, I thought that the fight scenes were improved from what we saw in Iron Fist. Especially stuff with Iron Fist, I felt the fight scenes were done a lot better here. You could tell who is stuntman and all that, but because of how the editing of it, you could see that Finn Jones do a little thing there. So
but that's the thing. It's still at that. But I get a feeling it's still at that cancer that Iron Fist was suffering from, that same illness where it just is low energy, half-assedness of the choreography. And this had some good choreography, but I mean, compared to Daredevil season 1, come on, man.
Exactly. Daredevil season 1 had a grittiness, had a brutality to it. This one was just kind of
flow and everything, just better show running. And as I said,
this one was more PG-13 than like true R-rated stuff. Now, you know what I mean?
Right. And as I said from before, with this, I still think that Daredevil season 2 undermined Elektra's arc a little bit, because all of this should have been a big surprise. We shouldn't have known that she was coming back now. They should have
agreed. Yeah,
they should have had her. As I said, they should have had her disappear. We know she's in trouble, but we don't know what happened to her.
Yeah.
Right. We know she's in trouble. We know she gets into trouble, and then you to reveal that all of this happened, And then they try to do this Electra is the Winter Soldier kind of thing for a while. That wasn't really working.
And the thing is, like, I didn't hate it either, but I was watching like, all right, so okay, she's not in a right mind. Okay, I get that. Right. She get to be a badass. Okay, fine, but still, I don't know how people who actually like her character would respond to this.
Yeah,
this antagonist all of a sudden.
Right, I frankly hate her in this in all of Daredevil and all of this so far.
Oh, and one thing, I find that her lines were so corny.
Yeah,
like
terrible.
Cheesy. It's like, oh, well, I was meant to rule, and this is the destiny of the hand, and all this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, she looked fine and everything, but something about the way how she delivered lines is just like, nah.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah.
Dub that over. Get some other actor to do over your lines or some sort. She has this accent though. I don't know if she's British or that she sounds British to me, but it's all about her delivery here, but especially when she trying to sound evil and tough. It was just like, nah, you're just coming off kind of hammy here.
But too much of it. I mean, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all. But too much of it fell flat. They just kind of dropped the ball with too much of it. It has that. It's some of the badness of Daredevil season 2. Where they just kind of lose focus instead of keeping the focus on Punisher. What they should have done with that is the same thing. They should have kept the focus on well, it kind of came back to Matt's story anyway, but they should have kept the focus on Danny properly and then make that link properly. So they just made Danny just a plot device now.
Right.
Instead of be core to the story, and it's like why do that? Oh, another thing. I already thought Danny would have had the yellow mask at the end. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because there's this one scene, we won't spoil it.
In the end,
you would think, okay, he's following in the
exactly.
a particular
character,
but why does he have that mask?
I thought he would have had a yellow version of the black mask that Daredevil had in the beginning, right?
Yeah, it'd be the perfect way to carry that
exactly.
torch.
Exactly, that makes sense. Like, you understand where Danny yellow mask come from now?
Yeah.
I thought they would do that.
It might have been shoehorned in, fine, but still,
you
kind of would understand.
I didn't mind that. Yeah, but he put on a mask too now. Whatever.
Yeah. But one thing though,
Luke Cage and Danny. Okay, so here's what I actually want to see happen going forward.
Okay, yeah.
Luke Cage and Danny had good chemistry. Surprisingly, I thought Jones and him together.
I like how they had the same objective, but just conflicted views there, you know.
And then they do the race stuff. Now the race stuff is a little hammy on your face with it, but it worked.
In terms of it does.
Danny,
it does.
Right, in terms of Danny.
Yeah, to me, I kind of saw it coming though. You know,
right,
rich
exactly.
kid versus
they had to do it.
guy from the hood. You saw that coming.
Right.
Yeah.
They had to do it. You know, Danny's the aloof rich kid. Luke Cage from the streets, man.
Yeah.
And
they had to people, man.
Right, the people and you know streets.
But I like that back and forth. There's this one scene where they talk about Lucas said, well, I struck, but I don't want to hurt people.
Right.
And Fist is like, well, I will do what it is I had to do to save people. If that means killing the people that you trying to save, but whatever, I gotta do it.
They make that moral argument work, and especially in the case of Danny and whatnot. And even though Danny's, sorry to say it, but Danny's a dumbass in this show. Good God, bro.
Oh my God.
Danny dumbass.
In the last couple of episodes, though, yeah, he
no, but even in that episode 3, when he fall for the trap now, and he come in and he's like, oh, Ollie in trouble.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like, you're Danny dumbass. Yeah. But the finale with it, again, they could have just think this out a little better, have it be a little better polished. Like, again, when they do the whole plot device with his fist, they could have make that better. They could have do a smarter job with that.
I agree.
Instead of him just falling victim to Electra obvious fucking trap.
Yeah.
You know, it was dumb.
On the subject of that, before I forgot, the character of Stick, though, once again played by Scott Glenn.
Yeah, they do something with Stick, which was pretty awesome introduction to him.
It was in terms of what they do, but you had to really kind of think about why it is he did what he did. It's just something that happens, and at first you're like, well, oh gosh, why you could do that for? But then when you think about it, it's like, okay, it's a means to end essentially. So.
Right, I totally understand that logic, but again, that's the problem with the blocking now. Because the way the scene going forward, it edited so badly. Because of the bad
and then suddenly he just like a light switch goes off. I'm bad now, you know?
Yeah, no, but it's how they do it in terms of like, well, he had to do this thing, so it's a thing he has to do. It's a bad thing, but for good reason, blah blah blah. You know, but the whole thing is like, wait, you just taking real long to do this damn thing though, then it cut badly, so you don't get a sense of how it's supposed to flow. It's a lot of it is amateur hour stuff. Sorry to say.
But we didn't mention acting before I forget. Everybody was great as well.
But again, bad luck.
once again, Charlie Cox delivers. Kristen Ritter delivers.
Jessica Jones was good.
Mike. Gosh,
Coulter.
Yeah, Mike Coulter delivers. Finn Jones to an extent delivers. I thought
he wasn't that bad in this, but he still had to play this kind of flat dumb character, and it's more bad, not necessarily bad writing, just bad flow. In terms of so it's bad writing,
bad
that
character
sense.
development or something like that.
Right, it's not bad writing. Because I still thought the plot was okay. It's just bad flow in terms of how to put together So to make a workable comparison, compare this to Avengers.
Oh yeah, why haven't we done this already?
Right, so a quick comparison to Avengers. Avengers understood what you have to do to cover up these, because Avengers has a very simple plot. Yeah. Same thing, a big danger. Everybody had to come together to kick ass.
Yeah, but they need to get along, right?
Yeah, they get along. So what you have to do is set up a scenario where they have to bounce off each other properly. Yes. You need good dialogue for that.
Of course.
You absolutely need good dialogue for that shit. You had to have good dialogue, not only good dialogue, but great dialogue, and you had to make it flow. So you had to sit down and block them scenes and have them flow so well that everybody laughing and making it work with the dialogue.
Yeah, look at the scene where Iron Man meets Hulk for the first time, and then from Thor, and then Captain America. That flow now, yeah. And
they had to come up with that, and they had to make it work, and they didn't do that with this. You could tell, all right, we want to do the shot, we get the shot done. It was like the first or two takes, and that is it. And then you're done.
Yeah, and I understand what I mean. Yeah. You need to feel that connection between the two. Is that just, he was leading up to this, so whether you like it or not, you have to be a team.
And now. I get that you have a lot of moving pieces in this stuff, but you have to sit down with this and make it work. Say, okay, this is not flowing, sit down and make it flow. And then until you get that shit right, then move on. Yeah, and that's the problem. It just was too much for them, so it just didn't gel together. It was like on the level of the CW. With that stuff, it was like
you could kind of.
It really felt like to see such a step down. To see such a step down from Daredevil season 1, it was a problem for me.
Right. What I was gonna say also too, I thought the side characters. I like how they were worked into the story. I mean, not everyone.
Everybody working properly.
Is in like the big climax. Like, say for example.
And I knew they had to do something with Miss Knight. I knew they had to do something with Mrs. Knight at the end there.
That moment actually caught me off guard. I was like, okay,
and I was like, I know it was in the comics. Yeah. I know it was in the comics, so I know it was coming, so cool. Colleen Wing, a lot of people hated her in this. I didn't hate her as much as other people. But
like her actually in this and in Iron Fist. She was one of my favorite characters from it. And
that's a big and to see them work together in the end, it's like, all right, this is a big comic thing anyway. So all right, cool.
Yeah. I find it was convenient how she kind of came in to help them out in the last couple episodes. I was like, okay, we need her because she's so skilled in martial arts. So let's just throw her in because
Yeah. But and then I know, as I say, going forward, I straight up at this point. Here's the thing: you could tell it's a resource management problem going on, right? In terms of getting the flow, because it have all the good ideas, everything, all the pieces there, but it just can't gel it together properly, right? Not as disastrous as the DCU or anything like that, but you could tell management resources and how to time this stuff to make it flow and work. You see how Daredevil was clearly low budget, but they did work with the material. This, they had to, going forward, in my opinion, what you had to do, I'm going to straight up drop season 2 of Iron Fist and drop season 2 of Luke Cage. That is what I'll do. And then go straight to Heroes for Hire. Right? Have a Heroes for Hire series and pool your resources. Pool your time.
Right.
So they could get this stuff working right. All the material is there, It's there. But you have to make it work and sit down and it's you have a big pool, but you have to make your pool deep. And it's shallow, but not. It's just unpolished.
Right.
And it's unfortunate like that. I'm gonna give my rating quick now.
This is what I say. What does it say before you get to rated though? Two side characters who I felt were wasted, unfortunately. Well, at least they didn't have much to do. In the grand scheme of things, were unfortunately. Oh gosh, Foggy and Karen from
Foggy and Karen was there, man. Karen was a little waste. But Karen was wasted. Right.
But essentially, well, okay, I understand.
But Foggy was Foggy service purpose.
All right, I understand Foggy in terms of, all right, Bart, you need to do this, you need to put back all the suit. But Karen was all like, I thought you promised you're not supposed to do this anymore. So it's like,
Karen didn't need to.
Yeah, why exactly?
Karen didn't need to be there.
Like both of them supposed to be pushing this guy forward. And I felt like they were kind of.
No, remember from the events of season 2 where they separate and they cut across, and remember Foggy going off and do your own thing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they followed from that. It was quite well. That's fine. Right. I don't have a problem with all of that.
Okay. So rated. What will you give this?
Boy, I really wanted to like this. And I've been really charitable towards it. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
All right, fair enough.
But if it wasn't the final episode, I'd give a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So again, that's a 6 out of 10. They should have done so much more with this. I'm underwhelmed. I'm not hating it. All the pieces are there, but they kind of fuck it up a little bit by not blocking these scenes properly and making it flow better. So a lot of that suffered. But yeah, 6 out of 10.
All right. Well, for me, I'll be fair as well too. I would give this a decent 3.5 out of 5. I was aiming for 4, but the more I thought about the flaws and stuff, and oh yes, this is one thing I just forgot to mention. And I think this will be there's a word of caution for those who kind of don't like these Marvel Comics Netflix shows. If you don't like the fact that there's lots of drama, lots of character moments and stuff like that, that you may think there's tons of examples of this, especially like in Iron Fist, where there are tons of these character moments and stuff, but it was like little action really, spacing things out. Yeah. There's no real tension building up. It's just all these moments with these characters talking and stuff. I imagine you will not enjoy this. You find it'll be dull and boring. I mean, the fight scenes are still there. They're still like entertaining, and there's like a great,
but I find great action. They could have come better with some of them. They're just camera movements, right? Camera movements dead.
Yeah.
Sleeping, man.
Yeah, but right, and also the subject of that, I just forgot to mention that too. Whilst a majority of the fight scenes looked really good, there were some moments where it's like, yeah, they kind of cheat their way through this, they kind of cheat their way through that. And I talk about like silhouette shots. I mean, they look cool, whatever. But there were some moments where some of the the sections of the fight scenes look a little bit sloppy. Yeah. I wish they could have fixed that. But like I was saying, yeah, in terms of pacing, though, there were a few episodes where I felt it was dragging a lot, where the story kind of lost focus. It wasn't like it was going one part and it just kind of stops and focuses on these characters, and then you just forget, and then they go to something else, and because they try to navigate 4 characters who have their own little stories going on, and they try to merge them together, but still they want it to be 4 four stories in one there,
Yeah.
And oftentimes it kind of spends more time on one character than the other and all them kind of things. Like I said before too, if you're the type of person who kind of gets bored by these long scenes of just drama that just kind of drag out for too much, then yeah, you will watch this and be like really disappointed by it. And I felt that here, the pacing could have been a little bit more tighter. As well, I understand what you're saying. Like, if you were to compare this to something like the Avengers, like I felt that the stakes could have been a little bit higher. It could have been a lot bigger.
What Avengers did is like you have a simple plot, but you make sure you had to care about them characters.
Yeah.
And you have to pull off the spectacle. Get the spectacle right. Yeah. Like that's what make Avengers work. Is that it was just looking pretty goddamn awesome. And this, they really should have come up with some better fight. Like it had some alright fights, but that they should have. And I actually still like the finale, but they should have really come better with some of them fights. Some of them how the action was moving and flowing. Tired, man.
Yeah, and I'll just say this in closing, though. I kind of hate to see this, but sorry, when you build this hype with all these characters, right? And once again, now I know this might be an issue to some people viewing watching this, but it kind of feels like the same old same. It feels like just your average episode of of what you've seen before with Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones. Sorry, it feels like just your average episode of these things. It's just all these characters are together, and on paper it sounds good, and when you see it on screen, it's like, yes, they're together now and they're talking together. And it's fun and everything, but I just felt personally like I could have gotten something more. Now I'm not expecting like Avengers level action and enjoyment, but still, because you were building up to this big point, and I still get the same style of writing, the same style of dialogue, the same style of editing, same style of pacing. It's like, yeah, this is what the hype was for. This is what it all led up to here. Like, let me be honest. When Avengers came out, it was like the culmination of everything that we love about the Phase 1 Avengers movies, but just elevated higher though, because not just because of the spectacle, but because of the solid writing and how they just kept it all entertaining, how it all flowed there. But here it's just like it's every bit the same thing that you expect from a Luke Cage episode or a Jessica Jones episode, or Daredevil, but I would say with Iron Fist though, this more than makes up for the debacle that was Iron Fist, and I like that they kind of put him in the center now, so they kind of apologize. Well, okay, now he's relevant now, so now you could kind of like him. You don't have to like him that much, but he's relevant now. Take it or leave it. So it works there, but still, it kind of felt like the same old same. I still enjoyed it for what it was. I kind of see myself going back to it probably before we see another of these another season of say Daredevil or whatever. Oh yes, and by the way, we do see slight little spoiler. We do see a teaser for Punisher, which is supposed to be coming out. I think it's later this year.
Right? Yeah, we got a trailer at the end after the post credits.
Yeah, so I hope with this one they do something a little bit different here. I know they had to kind of tone things out because ABC Studios and all, but it's Punisher, but we want to see some blood. We want to see some grit. I hope they do something a little bit different than what we've seen before with these other shows. But for the most part, decent 3.5 seeds fair to me. If you're a fan of these series, if you're a fan of these characters on Netflix, then you'll enjoy it. But if you're the type of person who just get bored by seeing these shows, it's like, well, when we're gonna get to the action, what's gonna happen next? And you wouldn't really get anything out of it. So yeah, by all means, if you're a fan, check it out. But if you don't really care for Daredevil or Iron Fist or Jessica Jones or Luke Cage, then you would enjoy it. So there wouldn't be any need for you to see it anyway. So skip it.
Yeah. Right. Sad.
All right. So Ricardo, where can we find you online, dude?
Passat RMEDDY, that is at RMEDDY on Twitter. And then you can just type in my name, Ricardo Medina, on Facebook, and that's it.
All right. You can also find me on Twitter. Just look for my handle, Legally Black MJB. MJB are in capital letters. You can also find me on Facebook. Just look for my name, Matthew Bailey. And also look for Illegally Black blog, official fan base, where you'll find a link to this podcast here, as well as the others that we've done before. And of course, feel free to check out my written reviews as well, and of course our thoughts on Iron Fist and Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
All right, so stuff to look forward to. Unfortunately, well, I know the summer, or at least this month, is almost up. So we are finally getting Atomic Blood next week, anytime of this recording. So I'll definitely be checking that out. Hitman's Bodyguard, hearing so things about it, but I probably will make the effort to see that too. Make it a little action-packed double feature or something. Kidnapped, with Halle Berry. Nope. No. It looks dumb, it looks cheesy, it looks like something from the 90s. And for all I know, it's probably a script that was just there from the 90s that finally get dusted off or whatever. And before I forget, just a couple of things on the local front. Men of Grey 2, Flight to the Ibis. Yes, it's out online right now. I haven't paid for it yet, but I'm going to actually in the next day or so. And I really want to see it just from a retrospect perspective, because I have seen this movie before on TV ages ago. I am so old I actually remember when this movie was out in cinema and how big a deal it was. But I really want to see this with new eyes and hopefully do a review on that. Ricardo, I don't know if you're interested in seeing this movie again, or if you've seen it at all.
We can make it. Yeah, I remember seeing it back in the days. I probably will not make the effort to go back and see it because I wanted to. But it could be part of one of the movie lines, if anything. Well, it's not that bad. Not a bad movie necessarily, but no. Still very 90s.
Yeah, it is. And finally, last but not least, I forgot to mention at the beginning of this podcast here, we got to see the first trailer of Green Days by the River, boy.
Right, yeah, I saw that.
What are your thoughts on that trailer, boy?
The thing is, I barely remember the book, so I was like, oh yeah.
I read the book. I don't remember too much of it, but I remember loving it. I read it in secondary school, so I'm familiar with the premise.
Right.
I think that if I could just get to just briefly about the trailer.
I don't know what it is with this Trinidad, how Trinidad is, I don't know what kind of camera they're using, but it's this kind of weird flatness that just makes things not look like movies. It's how this Lifetime original look now that I'm not really feeling. Because the last movie I really liked that actually looked like a film was Black Magic. The one that they shoot Black Magic one, No Corner. like Noka actually looked like a movie, like a film. This still looking too flat. Like I'm not feeling this now. Like, why just make the thing look like a movie? With the shit.
Right, and no set of color correction could help things. But with the trailer though, I just feel personally that it's giving off a sense of darkness, of tension. But in the book, there's little to none of that. It's just
I don't know where's all of that.
Simple coming of age story. So where's all this dark stuff? Like, if you go deep inside the river, you reveal all these things about yourself.
I was like, I remember this being a nice.
Man, like this tone.
I remember this being a nice story. I think it's like, all right, well, let's see where you're gonna go with this. Whatever.
Yeah, and I mean they touch on.
But the trailer starts normal, though, and then like the last couple of minutes, like what do you
and there's there's a moment in the trailer which I remember for the book, and they play it off like this big tense moment, and like no, it's just something that happened because the protagonists do some crap and it happened, but they make it out like it's a big deal. I don't know, but this actually is going to be the opening film for this year's Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival.
Right.
I'll have to wait for the schedule because I want to see if there's any other screenings for this one. I don't know if they're going to do this whole week-long thing that they did last year, which will piss me off because I find 1 week is just too little time.
Yeah. But they ain't no movies coming, so
But I'll just see this inclusive before we wrap up. Yeah, it's gonna premiere in your hometown, man, Sando.
Where?
It's coming out in Sando, Movie Town.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
where should?
Movie
Town in Sando?
Yeah, Movie Town in Sando.
Okay.
So I don't know about you, but if just depend on the run times or when it's being screened.
Right.
I will try to make the effort to see it on the opening night because I'm curious to see how people will react to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But,
I'll make the effort and go check it out.
Come on. The least you can do is just walk out of it, say it was shit, and just walk out. That's all. You don't need to stick around for the Q&A.
I'll make the effort, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever you listen to this. This was Matthew Bailey and
Ricardo Medina.
And we are signing off from another episode of Bears, Beats, and Bailey. So until the next one, take care.
Peace. Yeah.